What's up, everybody? Welcome to CounterPit. It's FlipSid, Virtus.Pro, and it is the last game of the regular season. Vendetta, how are you?
I'm doing fine, man. Eating ice cream.
What?
Hell yeah.
Bro.
It's so warm outside. I have to do
Dude, tell me about it. If
It's
people
so
didn't
nice,
realize this, I'm like pretty much naked. It's so warm outside. What? Man, I should have got like...
Where are the cams at?
Yo, can you talk for like 5 minutes while I go get ice cream?
Dude, how will I eat ice cream if I'm going to talk the entire time? I'm not sure if I'm able to make that kind of a sacrifice, right?
I don't really care about you, though. That's not the point. Just keep talking so I can go get ice cream.
Like, shouldn't you... I feel like Canada should have a lot of ice cream. I'm not sure why. I mean, I know it's a typical thing.
Oh, we just go outside and
yeah, exactly.
I don't go to the freezer. I just go outside and make it out of the snowbank.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so like I said, last game of the regular season. We can see on the Group B, that's already concluded. Team Solo Mid and Envious in green, they move forward to the upper bracket. Mouse Sports, Penta, the two German rosters, they go to the lower bracket. Titan finishing last place in the division. That's pretty remarkable. Hellraisers very nearly made it through. In fact, tied up with Penta, but the tiebreak went Penta's favor, so they took over that last spot. Meanwhile, on this side, this is, like I said, the last game, and everyone's pretty much through at this point because Virtus.Pro, they're already in the upper bracket. FlipSid Tactics, they have a chance to actually pass them. So Dignitas, Gamers 2 are both done. Their seasons are over, or at least in CounterPit they're over. Virtus.Pro, like I say, 8 points can be passed, though, if FlipSid Tactic take this best of 2. They would move to the upper bracket with Natus Vincere, and then it would be Team Kingwin and Virtus.Pro in the lower, or it could finish exactly how it is if they tie, or obviously if FlipSid lose.
Yeah. It's a pretty straightforward outcome, really. I think, I guess the biggest decider game we had was Mouse Sports versus Titan yesterday. No, not yesterday, but a couple of days ago. Where pretty much Titan could just mess up for Mouse Sports. That was like their only goal. So, now this is pretty straightforward. Both teams are secure. They can play freely. It's all about getting, I guess, the better position going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, the one unfortunate thing from Kingwin's perspective is they came in late to replace NIP, but interestingly enough, they had to take a forfeit loss against Virtus.Pro, which does actually mean that there's a game they could have potentially picked up one more point from, and that one extra point would have been a head-to-head with Virtus.Pro, so it would have actually given them a position to jump ahead of them and give them the upper bracket. So now if they go through, regardless of this game, they're going to be in the lower bracket, so they have to play with a little bit of a handicap due to that, but that was a mutual decision. They actually agreed to take the forfeit loss due to ESL qualifying schedules. So Either way, we'll see how it plays out for them when we get there. But King wins through. That's another encouraging sign for that team with their changes. Of course, they played most of the season with that. Actually, I don't think their first game in this league was with Scoyton. I think they had Dennis the entire time.
Yeah, I think so too, actually. I think the first game they played in CounterPit was before Dennis was announced as the official member, but it was when he was, during that time when he was standing in. So yeah, I think you're right.
The one individual game, so no league for us today on Vulcan, but we will grab a league that we can join into. Let's just go into free, face it. Let's not, why not? 8,000 people, we have to be able to beat some of these people. And pick a letter in the alphabet.
S.
S. That should be for snacks. Where is snacks? My snacks not on my list. Snacks is picked. Okay, pick another letter.
Another letter. Wow, you're making this hard for me. G.
D would be device, but I'm gonna like throw this off and go with Dupree.
I'm okay with that.
All right, pick another letter.
G for garden.
Garden or guardian, but guardian's not playing.
No, G. So anyone else
that has a G in their name? I would say Kerrigan has a G. All right, that's good.
I mean,
next.
he even has 2, right? Double fun.
Who has 2?
Kerrigan.
He has 1 G.
Doesn't Kerrigan spell his name with 2 G's?
Wow, Vendetta.
No, that's 2 R's.
2 R's.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
I know you're like Norwegian. Yeah,
okay,
okay, all right. Take the heat. Get out of the kitchen. Who's next? Pick another letter.
A. I think that's a horrible letter. I can't
A.
actually think
There's
of...
no one with an A.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't think of a single pro player with a name that started with A. Off
Apple.
the top of my head.
Okay, who has an A as the second letter? It would be KGB.
Anger.
Who has 2 games out of this? Someone's got 2 games out of this. We should actually be picking... Nah, screw it. We're not going to strategize this one. Because obviously with 3 teams, someone plays twice. So we should have gone for the team that plays twice to pick up 3 players from. But let's just keep going on this strategy. I like it. A. Bialy has an A. Done deal, Bialy. You're on the team.
He did it.
Who's next? My voice is still wavery, by the way. It's like a week of being sick. It's so brutal. Who's next?
We're going with W.
W? What do you think this is? Does anyone even have a W in their name?
I don't know.
JW. Wow, that was pretty obvious. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Hey, we still got decent money left. 38.96. All right, keep picking letters. Let's do this.
O.
O. Can I get an O for Olaf Meister?
You get an O any day.
Next.
Want to say... let's go with N.
N. Neo? Is that what you were trying to get with this one?
I have no idea, dude.
He's pretty expensive, but we still have 12.23 left to spend on our last player, so I'm just going to pick our last player because that's going to limit who we can grab. So we can grab Crims, Pronax, Oh, we can have $2 left. No, we can't take Pasha because we already have 3 from VP. So we got to either grab a TSM player, which we can't grab anyone. They're all too damn expensive. These guys are too damn classy for the game. And Crims or Pronax. I think Crims is the obvious choice. Who's our shot caller going to be? Olaf Meister?
Olaf, yeah.
Joining.
Go for Olaf.
If we win this with the alphabet strategy, I'm just going to call it a day.
I think we've broken the algorithm. Pretty much everybody knows what to do from this point on.
So if you want to play Vulcan.com, click the link below the channel. You can join straight over there. Match your first deposit up to $1,000 if you use the promo code CounterPit. Got a lot of cool new features coming up too with the gold, so you can actually get like a kind of like, I don't fully know how it works yet, but like a CSGO jackpot style direct betting on individual outcomes of games, not just picking fantasy teams. So they're stepping up their game. They're making it real. Either way, we're gonna get real. We're gonna get into the game. Oh, we should look at maps first, right, Vendetta? So it's Cache and Cobble, picked up by Virtus.Pro. First is Cache, and then it's Cobblestone FlipSid. FlipSid, they love that map. They love the T side of Cobblestone.
Yeah, no, and they've been having okay results on it as well. Been playing Navi a whole lot on on Cobblestone as of late, so they feel like they've gotten the practice in on it. Apparently, so that's good fun to see. And they've also played actually quite a bit of Cobblestone versus Virtus.Pro. It hasn't necessarily, ended up with a victory for them a lot of the time, but I guess they feel comfortable playing Virtus.Pro on Cobblestone, and that's why they've gone for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Cobble for them is definitely a map that they definitely enjoy. And even against Na'Vi, they've had good numbers against it, who normally Na'Vi give FlipSid a pretty decent run. Now, by the way, before we get started, chat, let me know about volume levels, because I was away for the weekend and my computer levels when I restarted reset, so I may have to tweak some system settings a little bit, but it should be okay. We should all be alright. But again, yeah, no, I mean, you come back to what you were saying, though. Cash. VP on Cash versus FlipSid's, I don't know. It's the simple factor on this map. It really has to be the simple factor on this map.
Yeah, well, it kind of comes down to that every time we talk about FlipSid, because they can either be amazing and do something similar, have single games like we saw at SLTD, or they can be fairly underwhelming like they were versus NIP a couple of days ago, where they just get stomped completely. So I think, yeah, simple, Bondic, I'm looking to do well. They're going to have to perform if they're going to beat Virtus.Pro. Because Cobblestone is obviously not a bad map for VP either, so I think they're going to be perfectly fine with the two maps being played.
Yeah, I think VP is going to be alright with it. Again, their Cobblestone's pretty legit. I think everyone's Cobblestone's getting better, that's for sure. I think it's actually one of my favorite maps to commentate on right now, for the simple reason that it's new, it's developing. We see creativity, we're seeing decently balanced games now. Yeah, I mean, it's like Cash used to be up there for me. It still is. I still enjoy Cash, but it was for the same reasons. When Cash was the newer Valve implemented map, it was like, yeah, this map's pretty fun to watch right now, as everyone, you know, struggles, makes mistakes, someone tries something creative, or you see a play from one player that suddenly everyone's using because it worked so well for them, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely is, and you can just slowly but surely see that teams are getting so much better at it, understanding new things, and it's still at the point where you can still find new smokes, which I think is a lot of fun. You can see new strategies being developed instead of just seeing the same, you know, bread and butter stuff over and over again, like you would on a Dust 2, that type of thing. So it's fun, yeah.
Well, we will start out with a knife for sides, as per always on CounterPit. We'll see who starts out on CT, the coveted CT side. Cobblestone, interestingly, everyone still takes CT, even though it's like potentially a T-sided map. It's kind of funny. But obviously we're on Cash first.
Well, it might be the easing into it factor as well. Like starting on the T side, having to search for, I guess, your frags and kind of have to work a titty bit harder for them. Might not be. Yeah, you can play passive and let the pace come to you on the CT. I mean, there's all kinds of schools of thoughts. I liked what the Flaren said about Nip and why they, because I asked him at, I think it was the Face It finals. I eventually asked him the question, you know, why is it that, you know, Nip will elect to start in their first map of a series on the T side, and they said it has to do with warm-up. It has to do with, it's a land thing where they're trying to catch the other team off guard, hoping that they go onto their CT side a little bit sleepy and they have the confidence that they can overrun them a bit. So that was kind of cool that there is that school of thought, because I remember in again, I know everyone hates when I talk about it, but just to give a different perspective to the game and different mentalities, although it's another FPS, people in COD used to start out on the hard side intentionally because money wasn't a factor. You didn't lose momentum, so you basically knew exactly what you had to do, and you switched over to the easy side, and then you could work accordingly. You didn't have to rush it if you didn't need to, or you'd push super hard if you were way behind. But again, money is the factor in CS that kind of disables that. Yeah, it does make it a bit harder, but yeah, I definitely see the idea behind it. You know, catching your opponent off guard to the point where you actually can get quite a few free rounds from the harder side of the map, and that's definitely a viable thought process to have. Really, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it might be more volatile, because if it doesn't work, then that might just tear you down. But teams know what they're doing for sure. But it's all about just what's in your comfort zone.
Well, time to get ready to roll. Get things underway, finally. And again, last match of the regular season. All teams have been through. Both teams in this game are through. It's FlipSid just trying to fight themselves into the upper bracket, and Virtus.Pro playing to save their spot in it. So, Na'Vi will wrap up the group regardless. They'll take first place in Group A. And the playoff format will start up in I think it's just about a week's time, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be right. I'm not quite sure either, but yeah, and not too long, I guess, is the key word here.
Yeah, and keep in mind, it's an online league. There's no LAN this year. I can't officially say anything, but there might be one in the future. But, yeah, no, I mean, it's online. It's a $50,000 prize pool. And TSM Online going to be scary when you get into the playoffs. VP, That's actually, I would say, more where they struggle, but lately have been a little bit more consistent. And, I mean, Na'Vi is always a threat. I think they're in a good position as well. Envy as well. I mean, all four of the teams right now that are sitting in the top spots are the teams you'd expect to be there, are doing quite well. But, I mean, flip side online, simple factor can always be scary. There's a lot of teams here who could do some damage for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've seen a ton of draws, so it's not like any of the teams who've made it through so far have just been dominating their groups at all. But yeah, on to the pistol round we go. VP kind of just setting out inside of that B site, and it seems like FlipSid are kind of on it because they stacked around both mid and B here. Bondic just holding for a retake on A.
And the Molotov comes in from the one solo player that was over on A to force the player from vents out. That's World Edit, and he gets caught by Taz as a result. So really good play to leave that one lurk player on the A site as Pasha's going to catch the next kill, but Simple comes around, and here's the factor we talked about. 2 for Simple, bomb does go down, turning back, and Simple makes a sample out of it. Snacks, you will never flank him. And it's going to be down to just the one player in the back of the site. Poor lowly Taz. Bomb plants in, so they will get guns in the third round potentially, but there's the round. It's all done, and FlipSid come back.
It's so ridiculous to watch. It really, really is. Because you see VP just doing a really good execute, getting onto the bomb site with a 2-minute advantage. You're thinking to yourself, well, this round is over. This is an easy stretch for Virtus.Pro coming in, getting the opportunity to get up to go 3-0, and then Simple does that. I mean, that's why you can never really safely bet on FlipSid, because Simple does stuff like that.
Well, I mean, but like, you never know, like, if he's going to do it every single game, because occasionally he has this game where he's completely off.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you never want to bet on FlipSid, because you can never be, like, he can do that, but you can't expect him to do it every time. But yeah, that's just ridiculous. And if he's going to have one of those games, then this is going to be a tough cookie to crack for VP. Nice timed flashbang, though. And that meant Neo had to slow down. They thought they might have had a rush to try and overwhelm the 2 players that were on the B site, but in the end, it's really not going to amount to anything at all. Blade's on 3 HP, but it's Bialy that's the last one remaining. As a CZ75, he's pulled himself into the corner of Checker Room, but I doubt he'll make it much further than that, although I eat my own words as he at least gets a shot on a World Edit, so drops 1 gun down from the T side. As the double FAMAS, 1 M4 and P90 still remain up. Now he's going to get surrounded. There's another one gone. Bondic drops down. Now that's the P90, fortunately, because that would have been a rifle inside the vents they couldn't recover. And now Blade will take full advantage of the situation and eventually drop Bialy, but good effort from him to get out of that with 2. Yeah, no, it definitely looked like it was going to be a clean sweep for FlipSid. And we're going to have a quick pause here coming up for FlipSid. Hopefully not too big of an issue, but last time we did it, we saw Blade having a bit of an internet issue. Simply just like high ping, nothing else, so didn't take too long to fix.
Do you ever have that one fly in your room that literally just keeps landing on you and won't leave you alone?
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's happening.
It's probably been here for about 2 years. Because it doesn't find the window, even though the window is open probably like 99% of the time during the summer. It doesn't find its way out. It's just kind of just hangs out.
Oh no, this guy just keeps like landing on me. He's the biggest troll ever.
Flies are mean, man.
He knows exactly what he's doing. Like, he knows he's got full advantage of me right now.
Do you actually have like sympathy for flies? I'm actually one of those guys who won't kill a fly because it'll never hurt me. I have no problem with killing wasps or that type of thing because they're gonna fuck.
Dude,
with
I
me.
will I will kill a fly.
You will? Okay. I don't, and I think that's why this fucker is haunting me, and that might have to reevaluate my my policy on flies.
If you don't want to kill him, just like torture him a little bit. Just take off one of his wings.
Oh, that's so mean. That's so mean. Yeah,
I know. I'm pretty brutal. Someone's gonna call animal cruelty on me over a fly.
It's good. It's rough. Can you train your dog to eat the flies?
My dog does naturally.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, if they land on her and try and if they land on her and bother her on a hot day, or if she wants to, like, if they try and bite her, she'll just turn around and snap them out of the air. She gets them occasionally. It depends. Like, usually takes her 1 or 2 tries, but it's pretty hilarious because then she gets them in her mouth and they try and fly around in her mouth, and she just gets itchy and she like makes these really weird faces trying to like spit it back out.
Maybe you should have her in the room.
I should. She's outside laying on the deck though. It's pretty awesome. It's a nice day out, so she's just chilling.
Does she have no? Dogs don't. What is with dog stomach? They can barely eat like anything at all, right? Because they can't eat ice cream, right? Without getting sick, or can they?
They're lactose intolerant naturally.
Yeah, okay, that's what.
But
it was.
Jaden will still have some ice cream every now and then.
Like staying cool.
Yeah, basically.
Which is nice. It's a husky, right?
Husky border collie.
Yeah.
It's
a cute dog. For
cool.
anyone who hasn't seen Matt's dog, it's pretty darn cute.
She's pretty good. I probably should be going. So what it was lag. Yeah, they're saying ready now, so they just called the unpause. We are going back into it. It was basically lag in the team speak for FlipSid. Blade called for the timeout, but we're back, and it's still going to be the SMGs of World Edit and Bondic, and this time a bit more of a presence toward A. I love how Neo, every single time we've seen him on camera, has been able to balance the knife on his hand.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like, come on. What are the, like, isn't that RNG based?
I have no idea.
Either way, it's Bondic that's going to slow them down. Blade will get the next kill, and on top, a catwalk, he'll get the rest as well, excluding one, as Simple finds Neo, but now we're going to see the guns come out from Virtus.Pro.
I'm just going to be spectating Neo to see if he actually does it again. Oh, he's trying.
I like how he knows every time. Like, a lot of people I see that try and spam it, they'll spam it non-stop, and then as soon as, like, they get it, they don't realize, so they spam through it, and then they, like, rage out. They're like, oh, that was gonna do it, and then it never happens for them. So Neo's, like understands the early, misplay there by Simple. Tries to go for the jump to get over top of the boost himself. A little bit cheeky. Pasha hears him drop down and spots his legs, so gets the kill. As Neo now falls back.
Yeah, VP are a team that loves, whenever they struggle with getting direct takes towards any of the bomb sites, they love to go back towards middle as a kind of a safety option. So if they get shut down on A, shut down on B, on all their direct pushes and execute towards it, they love to take mid. So if they're able to take out Simple a lot of the rounds, then that could be a huge problem for FlipSid.
Well, we'll see now what's going to happen as Virtus.Pro, having gotten that first kill, and they find the second on Bondic, now have the A site to work with. Blade was a bit of a nuisance for them when they tried to come through, but Taz will turn that back, and Neo finding Markelov means World Edit, the rotation from B. Last player remaining, and yeah, as we can tell, he's not going to leave his home. He's going to stay there. Lovely F3 sticker on his M4. Just sit tight, try and get away with the M4. They're sending Bialy on the chase, as we can see, and Bialy, low HP, should go down, but that gives up the position. World Edit, does he stay or does he go now? Judging by the smoke, I'd say he stays. Either way, it's going to be the first gun round of Virtus.Pro. It's going to be 3-1. And FlipSid are pretty low on income, aside from Blade, considering they won 3 straight rounds. But they were close rounds. I mean, again, Bialy just picking up those 2 kills on round 2 made a bit of a difference, made the impact help, and definitely brings the money back a little bit in their favor. Did they get him in the end? No, they didn't. Nearly. They were putting damage into him, but didn't get him.
No, that's big for them. That means that World Edit will have the opportunity to drop off a pistol or something like that. Just save a tiny bit of money for his teammates. Or actually, you could just rebuy nades, which is obviously going to be a bit of an important thing. They actually got the op on Simple, but it's a glass cannon, though, so he's going to have to be careful for nades.
Nady, nady, nady. No nades coming out. He's good. Smoke's going to go off. Simple chilling with the op, just making sure no one's going to come over top of drop. Try and hang out in his crib without an invitation, but it's going to be Bondic at quad. Flashed off. Nade did go out initially before that. Went a little bit too deep to do any damage, though, so Blade's now got to do it himself, and he's found the first on the right, second on the left. His teammate Bondic has gone down, but Neo, through the smoke, manages to take down the low HP player. That'll allow the bomb to come in now from Snacks, but still the man advantage for FlipSid on the retake. As they try and work it around. One already on truck, one way back at Z. That's World Edit, and he's now made his way through. And even though that flash went over the top, it didn't quite catch him all the way, and a really loose spray, just trying to catch one low HP player, perhaps. Either way, it's Simple now with his op. He's already brought it out. Moving forward, collecting on Neo and Snacks. He gets one World Edit, but Markelov's there. They get the retake. 3 men lost, but another round their way.
VP just going straight back to what worked in that previous weapon round, which is understandable. If it works, keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore. And Blade doing a really good job holding them off for such a long time that Simple is allowed to rotate off towards CT slope there and pick up one more. A good hold by FlipSid. VP did get the bomb plant down, so they're going to force buy up here. Yeah, 2 AKs and a scout. So not to have, you know, best of weaponry, but they can do a lot of damage with that scout as well. So flip side, they just want to try to minimize their losses here and try to really put Virtus.Pro on the back foot. Seems like this is going to be a push out into middle as well.
And it's Simple that's going to be the one waiting with the op. Did spot Pasha heading over to the left. Now that distracts enough to let one go right and get in toward the vents. And they know there's a player up on the drop. Simple knockdown to 8 HP based on the spam from Taz. As a result of that, Neo gets pushed forward, and Neo knows exactly where he's waiting the whole time. Using the scout to take down the op. Simple overwhelmed with absolutely no escape, no utilities to get himself out to safety. And VP slowly but surely take middle away from him by force. Leaves World Edit on B. Splits up the defense just a little bit. In fact, they're going to play for a retake on A with only one directly inside the site. The rest are supporting on the middle and now rotating over toward B. And that's the right call because Virtus.Pro are heading that direction as Snacks finding one, finding two with a Tech 9. Picking up FAMAS as well. Second shot, quite reactionary, but pretty solid, it has to be said. So this will put a bomb down, and it's going to be 2 players remaining from flip side. We'll see what they can do. It's 2 on 4. They may not do anything at all because they picked up an AK. They have an M4, and they may just look to save, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to get caught in transition, but Blade, wise to the fact that Bialy possibly could have been coming, turns back and gets the kill.
Surprised he's sticking around, actually, instead of just bailing the hell out of there. Because Taz is happy to... Anyone from VP is happy to take this challenge, for the most part. They're going to be able to buy up next round anyway, and a weapon loss is going to be bigger for flip side than it's going to be for VP in this situation.
Terrorists win.
Well, both of them stay alive, so that's a good thing for flip side. Obviously, losing the round not so much. So instead of actually putting VP on a potential, you know, eco, they're looking at an eco themselves, barring those 2 weapons that they saved. And that means no opt for Simple either. So getting mid control for VP is going to be even easier if they opt to do that.
And full utilities out for the terrorist side. Molotovs, in fact, for everyone. As Taz right now looking to get the shots through the edge of the doorways. They've got a little bit aggressive towards Squeaky. And it's Bondic that's the player doing more damage. They both fall off of it. They both don't favor the rest of the fight. They don't fancy it whatsoever, but Bondic gets away with 46 HP and Taz with only 13. So Vendetta, I would say, the counter-terrorists get the advantage on that one.
No.
Look at Blade's position right now.
Yeah. I mean, he could do a lot of damage, but I'm assuming that VP are going to check it because it was smoked off, so that often tends to be a sign as, you know, that there might be someone from flip side or the CT side hanging out there. But they've just gone back to taking mid control, and I think this is the right way to go, going up against more or less an eco.
And Blade not only will have been a little bit annoyed that he didn't quite get the chance to get full control of that situation, because he definitely heard them and was waiting them for a walkout, but he will have at least made the call that they rotated off of B. Either way, flip side don't get in position fast enough to recover from it, but Markelov almost got that second shot on Pasha. If he'd done that, it was a winnable situation. Instead, Pasha pushing forward with the P250. It's now flip side that are reveling in their mistakes. It's 4-3. Virtus.Pro making a comeback.
Making it happen, and wouldn't be too surprised if flip side actually opts to do one more eco, because I think they want the ops out, especially on Simple, potentially on World Edit as well. I think Cash is a map that lends itself pretty well to double opping. So yeah, them going with the Eagles and whatnot just kind of gives them, it's a big tell that they're gonna go for snipers. This time the aggression from FlipSid doesn't quite work out as well as it did previous round towards door area there. And again, VP just continuing to take control over mid. Neo's already all the way up towards site and catches out Blade.
Gonna turn back. Neo, nice shot on Simple. Sure, he only had the deagle to go against him, but still a good shot. And the rest of FlipSid, the only 2 remaining players, will just sit tight. Allow time to expire, which has now been diminished from 1 minute to the bomb timer, so it'll allow VP a bit more time, or rather, a bit less, excuse me, time to go on the chase as Bialy will take down Markelov. That's 1 gun gone. It's only pistols, so not a huge loss right now. If anything, if FlipSid could take down any of these chasers at all, it would be a win for them in this case, but that may not happen. Not quite. Not going to happen for World Edit either.
Yeah, flawless round coming in from VP. This time around, we're gonna see ops though, most likely from FlipSid. Question is whether or not it's gonna be 1 or 2. And it's kind of the same thing over and over again. Whenever you see FlipSid buying up, it's always a bit of a discussion between World Edit and Simple. Who's going to pick up the op? Both are. This time they're going to opt for Simple, which I think is fair since he's holding that middle area. They're actually going to give him some health this time around. They've noticed that VP are going heavily for that mid focus.
Nades come through. Bialy on top of the box. Using the smoke to his own advantage, potentially, if he could see someone dropping. Or boosting, rather, into the corner.
Bondik's about to get a really tough work task on his hands because all of the VP are coming towards that A-bomb site.
It's Simple watching for the cross. Did spot the player going back into position, but the smoke comes out, prohibits his vision. Popping forward, though, he does find Snacks. That'll open it up. Gets around the corner as well and finding Taz. Not a bad effort at all by Simple to take the fight. But Bialy puts him down in the end. That allows the bomb to get planted. Still a man advantage from FlipSid. As they try and attempt the retake. Actually, I take that back. Neo is still alive on 4. I thought certainly he was going to get down. It's Bialy who actually is the first to die out of the 3 that are left. But Neo might push through the smoke and catch them off guard. Not with Blade still waiting. Pasha, though, using the op, does collect 1. That's World Edit down. If he could find the angle, he'll bring this back to a 1-on-1. And now it might just favor him because he's got the op, but he has to go. The flash came out and the smoke was there. He thought certainly he'd have to be defusing. He wasn't. Does he have time? He does. Markelov pulls it off just barely in the end.
Once again, Blade kind of just being the saving grace there on that A-bomb side, picking up those 2 frags. Obviously, Simple's 2 frags as well. Kind of will stop the momentum of VP because they got onto the bomb site pretty quickly and didn't. I don't think a single guy went down to Bondik on site initially either. But you know, Simple picking up those 2 frags forces VP to put in a pretty awkward plant. So they got a bad after plant position, and Blade following it up with 2 more frags.
Shot out again from Simple in mid. That takes down Snacks, and Bialy tries to spam back through to the corner to make sure no one else was pushed up. As they did, in fact, have World Edit hanging around in that area. He's not going to flash himself through. This might be ballsy to push. Instead, he just holds the angle bomb down. Thank you very much, as he realizes that now sits at his feet. He changes his angle once again to try and push further into the corner as Simple gets the shot onto Taz. Gives him a bit more time. Bit more space, a bit more to work with, and Simple will take it all away from them as he collects the hat trick. World Edit with the other 2. The 2 of them combined for all of them. It's now a 2-round lead.
Yeah, so bringing it back right now, and it seems like they're very aware of the fact that VP like to go heavy towards mid. Whenever they get, well, whenever they don't get anything done towards any of the sides, they normally tend to go towards mid. So that's a good observation from FlipSid. And I think it's vital for them to actually maintain control over mid for the most part of their CT half if they want to pick up a lot of rounds. As for now, though, it's going to be an eco coming out from VP. Actually, quite a bit of an investment. 2 mollies and a smoke, and no, 2 smokes and 3 flashes. So they're just going to try to get a bomb plant here, and they might be able to do so unless Simple rotates over pretty fast.
And in they go. Flashes out initially, but World Edit still gets into the corner, has to hug his teammate. But it's okay. They're friendly. They'll hold on to each other, and they'll all survive. That's the more important part. So 7-4 now for FlipSid.
7-4, and we're going to see the op being brought up on VP. So that's the 2nd time around we've seen Pasha pick up an op. Curious to see whether or not they're going to actually boost him up, see if he can take the challenge versus Simple and mid. If they can do that and open that up, then obviously that's going to be a massive thing for them to work off of. But for right now, it doesn't seem like he's heading that way.
As Markelov dropping back down inside the B site, we've already seen initially. But there was a bit of a presence inside the tunnels. Now there is not. Oh, this is an interesting one. So I haven't seen that in some time. Bondik actually fell off of it. So is the door back open to allow him to get back up? I love it. They're still going to try and get him up there. Come on, Bondik. I believe in you. There you go.
3rd time's the charm. Yeah, and obviously it's like very open, but it's an angle that definitely could catch VP off guard. But Simple, picking up 1 guy in A main, that's gonna make VP fall back. But again, they've gotten mid control, so this was all just kind of a ruse to create some space for Neo to work out here, and he's already inside his Z connector.
And Simple with the first kill, looking for another. Has to execute it through the smoke. Hasn't done that yet. Markelov might get cut off here. because they've had a player get through middle, and Neo using Heaven now to counter back. This is going to be B from Virtus.Pro, and they try and enter into the site. The last one remaining to slow them down is World Edit. He's successful at least dropping down the bomb carrier. That's Taz, but Neo getting the kill right back. It's Simple to get on Heaven. Simple whiffs on the first shot. Position given up. Needs to be aware a teammate was just beside him, but it's Snacks that actually gets the kill, and Bialy adding to that total by taking down Blade. Bomb now planted. It's Bondic's job. 1-on-2. Has the need to go out. Flashes. That prohibits him. Delays him a little bit further. Now another from Bialy. That may catch him further again as Bondic tries to come in. Spots the first player but can't knock him down. Second takes the peek from Generator. Finds it. Not going to get the second. Snacks peeks after his teammate drops. So one remains alive, but 5 rounds now Virtus.Pro.
And again, Virtus.Pro just figuring out what works. And after seeing that FlipSid pushed heavily towards, or had heavy focus on mid after they started going mid with 3 people, putting some aggression towards A, making sure rotations happen, and it's just so much space for Neo. I'm actually surprised that FlipSid just abandoned mid completely. I mean, even if there is, most likely coming in and push towards A, you always want to have some eye, an eye or two on that middle area so you don't get backstabbed, and that's what happened right there. Mark Love gets caught out because he has no idea that Neo's made it all the way through towards higher.
So another pause coming out, calls from Markelov this time, so potentially similar issues. Lag and TeamSpeak, something along those lines, because so far I take it back. World Edit's ping skyrocketed to 144. I was about to say, so far everyone on the server seems fine, but World Edit might have a problem.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Well, we always hope that. But sometimes we never really know.
It would be kind of mean-spirited if we actually were hoping for people to have horrible playing conditions, right? Wouldn't roll right off the tongue, as well as, hope everything's okay. Yeah, so far I think, oh, okay. Blade's saying they're looking for a stand-in, so that's an unfortunate situation. And I guess now we can play the guessing game. Who do you think they're going to get us a stand-in?
Hooch.
Hooch?
Vladislava, the Hellraiser's manager, maybe?
Well, yeah, Vladi used to play 1.6 professionally.
Is this real life?
It is.
No, get Vladi in there. Get Panda in there, the SLTV Dota admin.
That could be fun.
Let's just get DDK in there.
Do you think DDK's ready? Think he's warmed up?
Yeah, probably. DDK ever not ready?
It's true, it's true. He's always on point. I guess Angel as well could be. Or who
yeah,
did
Angel
hop in for?
We saw Angel go in for Na'Vi last time in place of Guardian. He actually top fragged. So
yeah, exactly.
We could also see a Dren. A Dren's chilling out in the Cyber Arena probably right now in Kiev, so he could probably jump in.
That's true. They have a decent player pool to select from, obviously, and yeah, they should be able to find a stand. Obviously, it's if you step in twice, right, for a different team, that's when you kind of get locked to their roster. Angel's only stepped in for Na'Vi once, so you could potentially use him. Hooch has not been used as of right now, as far as I know. Oh yeah, we'll figure it out. I think obviously it's gonna hurt losing World Edit though, because he's a pretty impactful player when he gets rolling with that op. Kind of similar to Simple in that way.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Yeah, I mean, Hooch hasn't been in for anyone yet. He's actually a really viable stand-in. So I would say that they could easily pick him up.
Yeah,
I actually don't know who else. Maybe they go for Cyber Focus. He's their designated stand-in, isn't he?
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, he's been playing ESL, ESEA for them. So that could definitely be a go-to move for them. If he's around, though, obviously that's something we can't really know. But, on the topic of something completely different, you're traveling tomorrow, aren't you?
I am traveling tomorrow, 11 a.m. local.
Where are you going?
Well, for the first time in 2015, I don't have to leave my own country to go to an event. So yeah, ESWC Montreal. I'm actually super pumped to be in the motherland.
Have you been to Montreal before?
Oh yeah, God yeah, yeah. Montreal's like an 8-hour drive for me, a 1-hour flight. It's like I usually get there twice a year for whatever reason.
All right.
So
cool.
it's
I've heard a lot of nice things about the city. So
yeah, it's a sick place.
A lot of the teams are excited to go there because normally, as people who've been around CS for a while know that SWC is normally Paris.
Yeah, and the venue is directly downtown between Sherbrooke and St. Catharines, two of the busiest streets. The women in Montreal are phenomenal. It's going to be hot most of the weekend from what I can tell. And, like, yeah, it's a wicked city. Like, we could basically walk from the hotel and go anywhere, do anything. Tons of sick spots to eat. The University of Mont-Royal, Memorial University is the university, but Mont-Royal, Montreal, it's the hill that's right in the city. You can climb that. It's pretty legit. Like, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with, like, around the venues. So, yeah, I think most of the teams are really going to like it, actually. And the hotel itself, I've stayed there before. It's really nice. So, it should be pretty cool.
Good times ahead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to fly across the globe to actually go to the event. And Cloud9 are coming off a really good result at ESEA.
Dude, what was that all about?
No, that was insane. And Sean Garris, that was actually really fun because I've spoken to Sean so many times after tournaments, and it's always been like the small things that never come to fruition for Cloud9, and it's never been that Sean hasn't made the proper calls or something. It's like small individual mistakes that mess up things, and they kind of just snowball out of control. This event, they were just on point, everyone. And actually, I was really surprised by Freakazoid, because he was so active, just communicating with everyone and just following up on everything that Sean said, and that was just really fun to watch.
Man, I have to say, hats off to Freak. That was like, because he's been like still a point of contention for me. He's had a few good games here and there, like in the North American side of things, but domestically, that's not surprising for Cloud9. So to see him do well over there finally, especially after Gfinity, where he was like -41 in the best of 3 against Virtus.Pro.
Yeah. That was a rough game.
What a turnaround the whole team though within a week to come back to ESL like in that way. And I know VP, they're glad they didn't play them because VP like tends to manhandle North American teams. So again, Freak, yeah, you're right. I mean, just his mentality in the team, not just his ability to get frags, was pretty solid and definitely encouraging. And the difference is, though, like the funny thing is I'd say is I'd be like, yeah, it's a home event. They don't have to fly that far, but they are flying back from Europe after 2 weeks. They're still going to be jet lagged for this event now, too. So it's almost like they're not back at home.
They're not even NA anymore.
Yeah, and there was 4 teams over there that of which 3 of them will be in attendance: CLG, Luminosity, and them. So actually, if I'm not mistaken, Keith Stars are at ESWC as well. I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
I should look this up, probably.
You should probably know this. I mean, seeing how you're going to cover the games. But, I mean, you'll have some time to prepare. But yeah, no, that's going to be a fun tournament. So I can't wait to see how it unfolds. And I mean, I guess for NIP as well, it's kind of a big chance for them to actually win an event. They haven't gotten a ton of second places pretty much all year.
Keith is there. They were directly invited. That's why I couldn't remember it. Yeah, I thought they were. They're in Titans group, actually. So that's actually an interesting group for them to be in because Titan's been struggling lately. So CLG and Keith Stars could actually both get out of that group if Titan doesn't perform. So, and then the other one in there's like the dark horse of all dark horses, where like you have Kiyu, the Chinese team, who don't have like a similar meta. So they've got like this. It's like I've always said this about, and I'll probably bring this up again during the weekend when we discuss this team in a little more depth. But I've always said that people learn from each other, right? So if I'm going to learn to play baseball and I watch baseball on TV, I'm going to end up picking up on some of the cues that they do and play baseball like they do. But if I've never seen anyone ever play baseball in my life, I'm just going to go out and do it. And I might develop a strategy that works that's completely different from what other people are doing. So Kiyu might have this whole like style of meta, and I watched some of their demos. They do something similarly, but there's some of their nades and stuff are a little different. But they figured it out on their own, and anyone who figures anything out on their own is going to have a slightly different way of doing it. So it could be like a bit of a like I don't know, the dark horse. Like it could throw them off. There's a lot of people that won't be able to read that quite as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I remember if you're going back 1 year to the previous ESWC when it was POW doing it, just watching that Chinese ESWC qualifier, you could definitely tell that they're thinking about the game. Obviously, they're kind of lagging behind in terms of how things are played in NA and EU, but they definitely had some really cool strats. So execution might have not been perfect, but they did some funky stuff that was fun to watch. And I don't know, Kiyu has been a team that's actually been together. Like those 5 players have been together for quite some time, albeit under different names. So I think they might do well. Actually, it's gonna be fun to watch. I hope they actually get the opportunity to play at their best. It's gonna be fun. Because I think that, now that NA or Cloud9 have done so well at ESL, ESEA, will be fun.
Confidence.
To see, and it will be fun to see teams from Asia as well, not just Renegade, stepping up to the plate, so we can actually get a bit of a global competition going on.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think Cloud9. I mean, there's always been that potential there, right? There's always these people that are like, specifically in North America, and perhaps that's where you kind of have to extradite the fact that they are playing against North American teams. But there's always these people that are like, these guys are sick. They're the real deal. They're going to go over there and play this well. That's never going to happen. But there was always the potential for it. Like, there was literally the potential for it to happen. So it's good to see finally at one event. Now, again, one event means it shows us something, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Like, you still gotta.
It's
you're only
too
as
small of a sample pool,
right? And there's the old saying, like, right now you could argue, oh, Cloud9's the second best team in the world. You're only as good as your last event, right? Like, which is true. You are only as good as your last event in some ways, but no, hang on. This is a pretty busy game. So until they do that, like let's say ESWC, they make it to like the top 4, I'd be like, all right, this is encouraging. So yeah, I mean, this could be a weekend where Cloud9 is definitely one to watch.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on Cloud9 and KU. And, I don't know. I always root for the underdog just because that's more fun. You don't really there's no real downsides to it in that sense, because if they lose, it's kind of, it was expected, and if they win, it's all the more fun to actually watch. So I'm hoping that the Chinese guys are going to, come out full throttle and really surprise some of the teams in their groups. That would be a lot of fun, because, as you said as well, it doesn't necessarily mean that the Chinese teams are all of a sudden at an equal level to EU or NA, but it means that the potential to do to be there, and with time it's there. So that's fun.
I would love to see Asia come on. I think we can actually rival League if we had the Asia territory. I mean, we've already passed Dota without it.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be very close. Like, I think, because, I mean, CS is just like a very intuitive game. I mean, the concept of the game is pretty simple, right? So it's easy to grab. Even if you've never played Counter-Strike, you can actually understand what's going on, except, having to have control over 50 different spells in one game, which you would have to do in, League of Legends or Dota. Here, you just know that, you're going to try to plant, you're going to try to defuse, and you're going to try to kill the 5 guys on the other team. That's pretty much the entire goal. Yeah. And you do it with guns.
From a spectator perspective, it is easy. Even within the FPS world, it's probably easiest to pick up right now. I'd say something like Quake's pretty straightforward as well, as long as it's really clean and simplified. Like, if you look, I think the current COD right now is awful. Like, I haven't watched COD in years, and I went back and watched it the other day, I was like, I can't even figure this out. Like, this is so silly. So, I mean, CS is so brilliant in that perspective that it's just like, I could sit down. Well, that's the thing. Like, now that I'm casting, I have like family and friends be like, all right, what the hell are you doing? Like, explain this to me. So I'll pull up a demo or something, or I'll pull up like a VOD and be like, well, here, like, take a peek at this. And they'll be like, oh, I totally get this. This is so simple. Like, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. And from an outward perspective, it is. Now, obviously, we know, and the people in chat know, there is a metagame to it. There is a lot more sophistication to it. But for the most part, yeah, it is pretty straight up.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing, because you get hooked by the fact that it's easy to get into, and then you get more, I guess, gripped by it the more you understand what actually goes on within the game. So it doesn't really, it's not a shallow game in that sense. So easy to get into, and then you get kind of get a ton of information as to what the different teams are doing and how every team has a different play style and whatnot. So that's really fun. So do we have any word on the potential stand-in for FlipSid?
No, but we do have Bialy saying go, no time. So this could be a forced issue if FlipSid, this is game. Oh, no, they have another game, and this is already, I mean, look, the simple fact is, this is an yes, okay, there's a small implication of whether it's upper bracket or lower bracket for either of these teams, but it's inconsequential ultimately on whether or not they'll make the playoffs. Obviously, you want to be the upper bracket, but at the end of the day, if a forfeit comes out of this, it's not the end of the world for these guys.
No, it doesn't. And I guess the only way it can actually impact the standings is if FlipSid win 2-0, right? If it's a draw, then VP are still in the upper bracket?
That's right.
Yes.
Nothing changes unless FlipSid win both maps.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I actually wouldn't be too surprised if we saw the first map being played out. If time runs out and VP have to run off because they have another game, depending on the score here in the first map, it could be. If VP win the first map, then the second map is kind of doesn't have any impact at all, except FlipSid, potentially trying to save face and beat VP on Cobblestone, but it's not going to have any impact. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that potentially could be VP just giving up the second map if they win cash, if they have to go somewhere else to another commitment, because obviously this is something that you really can't account for it, and it's not really something that VP can do that much about. I mean, they kind of have to truck on with their schedule.
The nature of the beast right now with everyone being as busy as they are.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm actually wondering, Envy, they're with this kind of LAN tour they're going on. They have 6 weeks straight where they're at a tournament each weekend, and 2 of those times they're gonna have to go back and forth between the US. But do the teams actually get any time off?
They'll be alright come morning. I don't. ESL one Cologne. I think after the majors, some teams will definitely be looking to take breaks.
Yeah, I would imagine so, and that's going to be at the end of August, like 22nd.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly I think the date that it's booked for. So like the second last weekend in August.
It's pretty much whatever. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Why is my mouse broken?
Stop
it! Stop it! It's ruining my drawing. Sorry, never mind. Keep going, Vendetta.
No, I actually wouldn't be surprised if the teams were like, yeah, we're looking forward to ESL Cologne. Not because it's a major. It's going to be like, yeah, we can finally get some time off after that. Because these guys have just been going on nonstop for pretty much 6 months right now.
I mean, traveling like that takes a toll on you. I mean, even since I've been traveling to a few more lands here and there, I've noticed I've been, as I am right now, sick a little bit more than normal. Your body just gets worn out a little bit more, so we'll see. We'll see how they react. I know Nip has talked heavily about the need for vacations after a long period of time going to various events and whatnot, so there's a need for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Nipper probably one of the. Oh, actually, word that it's going to come back. Huh. Okay, so I guess
maybe he fixed it. Based on the timing of that, if he had a dynamic IP, I know mine changes every 5 minutes if I reset it. So we were close to 10 to 15 there. I'm sure he could have easily had a dynamic IP reset if he has one.
Crossing our fingers, at least. But yeah, we're back in the game, back underway. So VP picked up that last round. FlipSid's still in a position where they can buy up, but this is a big round for both teams. Whoever loses this round is most likely going to have to eco, unless VP get a bomb plant and then lose. They're just going to go straight out onto that A-bomb site. Damn, that was fast with Bondek.
And Bondek gets two. It's now Pasha to come back around, find him before Markelov does the trade a favor and turns it back the way of his teammates, but it's Simple that does the same now onto Neo. So things are looking all right, stabilizing into a 2-on-1 as Taz has the bomb down, but he's got a problem in the fact that World Edit is coming around from A main. So he'll be able to find Taz quite easily, who can't secure a post-plant position inside the tunnel. Oh, poor Simple. He just wanted the defuse.
That's what you get for hanging back by the car, right? Or let it having to take charge to actually find Taz. Deserved it more. But yeah, FlipSid pick up a round, and with that bomb plant, people are gonna decide to force buy up. So they know that the economy of FlipSid is pretty wonky, especially after losing 3 members that round. So they can do some definitely do some damage here. And we've already seen them pick up 1 round where they didn't have a perfect buy either.
Well, Simple again with Yop getting aggressive toward A main this time. See if he can get a shot on anyone trying to push forward. World Edit, he's going to get inside of Checker. Simple dropping a smoke that would allow him to evade and get back into cover. But again, still staying forward of it, looking for the initial op shot. Meanwhile, Pasha heading in toward middle, using that lovely neon Mac 10 to try and pretty his opponent's face, but right now it's simple to fall back. They know it's going to be going over it on B, and that's where World Edit, using a flash that they threw to their advantage, he pushes through behind them on it. It's brilliant from him as he finds the first two, but Taz turns back now with the Tech 9. And VP still have the site, but they don't have full control just yet, as the bomb, although it's in the hands of Neo, he's left the site. He's actually gone through it and can't cross back over. Taz waiting with low HP, finding Simple inside the vents, though. They've just got to worry about the player on Heaven. And Taz trying to bait out Bondic, who just sits to wait and make sure no one's pushing through in behind. And Bondic holding station, realizing now that they have crossed, tries to bounce the Molotov, but Neo inside the site, just waiting it out, and Taz, he's at 6 HP pretty much the whole round. He gets the last 2 kills and makes it a win and a victory for his team as we head on to round 15.
Bringing it right back. Obviously, FlipSid are going to force buy up, but it's not going to be the greatest of buys here coming out for them, seeing how they just won one and lost one. Simple will have the op, though, and we've seen them have a pretty big impact so far. That could be the saving grace of the Ukrainian team. But there's no doubt that VP are aware of what kind of situation FlipSid find themselves in, which I think is why they've set up in such a passive hold right now, because they're expecting aggression to come out of the FlipSid side.
Simple back to just the pistol for round 15 means that Virtus.Pro can get 7 T-sided rounds. Bondic's going to get boosted this time. So we'll see how Bondic can use that to his advantage, as it looks like they may gather toward A main, so this could favor his position. Meanwhile, as I say that, the bomb, although at A, has 2 players lurking over at B, is Bialy finding World Edit. It might cause complications and cause a rotation. Bondic fires at the first 2, wasn't peeking him, so he may have potentially gotten more, but he still manages to pick up Taz with a nice headshot, as Snacks eventually does take him down. Neo winning mid, though, coming up highway, it means that Blade can do not much at all inside the site, and Simple trying to aim behind the corner, or the crack rather, at E-Box. Hasn't picked up the kill, so bomb goes down 2 versus 2. Simple, he realizes it's planted wide, but hasn't spotted the player that's crossing. Doesn't even matter. Markolov finds them both, and Simple pushes forward. This time he will get his defuse. He doesn't need to be sad. It's not on an eco, so it's 9-6.
Yeah, 9-6. I think both teams could be okay with that score, really. FlipSid getting a couple of rounds, like the very last one here, that they, you know, maybe shouldn't have been able to pick up, especially when VP did a pretty good job, actually, of selling that fake towards B. I think it was Bialy Neo who set up with Molotovs, just Molotov out the entire B bomb site, picked up World Edit as it rotates in towards the headshot spot. But yeah, Bondic doing a solid job once again towards that A bomb site, picking off 2 people. And Blade and Bondic on that A bomb site, really, the entire CT half, got, you know, crucial kills in times where VP tried to get onto that site.
Now it's going to be Blade that's looking in, so pistol underway. They've already thrown a single nade, a solitary nade toward the A site, using just a bit of utility, a bit of the investment. We'll see how it fans out, because right now they are going back towards the smoke smoke, the default smoke strategy on A. So Taz pushes forward, spots one in A main, that pulls Pasha out of middle. Also brings over a very quick running Bialy to get back in position as he scrambles to get there before they come in. And Taz, though, does all the work. He finds 3. Well played from Taz with a P2000. World Edit clawing back salvation, but only the one. And it's going to be Pasha to take him down. 9-7, well played, as FlipSid can do nothing to pick up the pistol.
Impressive play by Taz, especially because he was, you know, originally the sole defender of that A bomb site. Obviously, those 3 nades coming over from the back of, you know, outside of the entrance towards the door, doorways, I guess, from FlipSid is a pretty big tell as to what they want to do, but still, good job from Taz, you know, on the initial aggressive peek into A main, not getting picked off, and then following it up with 3 kills. Very aggressive play from Snacks here on the anti-eco. You might actually get caught up by Snacks.
Snacks is actually looking at, oh, so brilliant. He's so smart.
And yeah, that just kind of, that leaves FlipSid in a pretty awful situation, because they've lost map control and they're kind of forced into one spot on the map, and you can tell that BP are very aware of that. 4 people already rotated over towards A. Snacks has full control over, well, everything outside of A. This is going to be tough.
And Bialy goes in on a flash from his teammate. That gives a kill to him. Make it 2 as he gets World Edit. So Pasha getting the last on Markelov, leaving just Bondik remaining. Pretty straightforward anti-eco. You called it. Snacks is low on HP, but everyone else is doing all right. But unfortunately, Snacks gets found not before Bialy gets behind him. And Snacks only an SMG, not a big loss. He did pick up a kill with it, so he's invested a little bit back. But the 2 rifles, the 2 M4s stay up.
Yeah, no, so pretty much a very good anti-eco from VP. Obviously, Snacks picking up that frag on Simple at the beginning just does a world of good for them. If Simple takes down Snacks instead, then all of a sudden VP are left pretty thin on defense, really, on one of the sites. So, yeah, good job from Virtus.Pro. Obviously, they're expected to win the round, but still, you know, we've seen weirder things happen.
Thought maybe Simple had legged out.
Just chilling for a while, catching his breath.
And Snacks has gone for the upgrade this round, so bringing out the M4, having lost the SMG, puts him in a position that he's going to be fragile on income, so he needs to survive this round more than anyone. More importantly, based on buying each other out, all 3 of those rifles do need to stay up. As Pasha, he uses his to good effect. He finds 2. That allows Neo to come back over, pick up another, and Pasha switching to the pistol finds Simple. World Edit, though. There goes Taz. That's one of the M4s down. That has to be recovered. It has to be picked up, and Neo's going to do that. And the shot comes over the top to take down World Edit. So all 3 M4s do stay alive, and importantly, Snacks himself stays up to build his bank back up to 34.
Yeah, and Bialy, who sat on 8k, he's going to drop the weapon for Taz as well. So enough money to go around for VP. Holding on to those 3 rifles is obviously very good for them. And now this is going to be a really important round for FlipSid. They've decided to go for, well, the way they ecoed has not allowed either World Edit or Simple to actually pick up an op, and we saw how much good that did them on the CT side. So they're going to have to get off to a good start here. Playing really passively as well, actually. Super passive.
World Edit spamming through the smoke. Wants to get a shot potentially on the boost point, but no one there.
Wouldn't be too surprised if this is going to be an A take, even though they have 2 Molotovs, so they can Molotov off quad boxes and potentially behind forklift, because Markov is one of the guys with the Molotov inside of doors. And, well, they have enough smokes to work with as well. It's pretty much only Simple who doesn't have any needs to work with. So, yeah, I'm expecting an A push here from FlipSid, and Simple might just hang back. And there he goes. Pasha going aggressive into mid and gets taken out. So already good start for FlipSid.
And having Bondik take down Bialy at the fence allows things to unfold quite more marvelously for FlipSid as Taz trying to come back through the smoke, gets up on top of the barrels, and there's a bit of a gap, so he finds World Edit. Bomb does go down, though. But Neo, on the rotation, gets there just in time to catch Markelov before he can fade into the distance behind the quad. But look at Simple's position. One over the top, dropping back down. New Taz was below him. Gets the kill quite sufficiently. Not even losing a whole lot of HP in the process of both of those kills. But Snacks now brings it back with 2 of his own, and Simple dropping last. Leaves just Bondik on 16, but he's got the bomb planted in his favor. Snacks gets caught. Bondik wins the round. FlipSid come right back on the first gun.
Yeah, no, the very good weapon round from FlipSid, and obviously Pasha going aggressively to get information. Him getting picked up by Simple, that just makes the A take so much easier for FlipSid than it had to, or should have been realistically. And VP are gonna opt to actually buy up, even though Snacks can only afford the P90. They're going super aggressive actually with 3 people catching up Simple right away. And again, we're all of a sudden looking at a scenario similar to what we saw in their anti-eco.
And Snacks trying to find his way through the smoke now. Will fade back into the distance and fade into a bunch of bullets from an AK. And get out of the round as Bondik will remove him. That slows things back down just a little bit. Markelov. Gonna throw that flash over toward mid. See if we can catch anyone with it. Molotov toward the vent. Push anyone out. No one's there just now, though. Both players on B have forced themselves back inside the site. They'll stay put.
And most likely there's going to be those 3 players from FlipSid going in towards B and having Markov come through vents. I would assume so they get 2 angles of attack, but no, Markov's just going to join them.
As Bladu does come in and get the shot on Pasha, the first one, but Neo right there to pick up the second before World Edit can turn back and get the trade, so Bomb. Lots of time to be planted for World Edit, and again, they've got the man advantage, and Markelov sliding out Does find B Alley from Toxic. Or Sunroom, take your pick. Either way, it's World Edit now who's already spotted Taz. 1 on 3, and Taz realizing this. He'll walk out of this. Go slowly, hope someone pushes him, gets another gun down. That's not even going to happen though, World Edit. He beats him on the duel with just the Galil.
No, oh, that was pretty much rounds where, or the round kind of went down to the fact that FlipSid managed to pick up those individual duels. Blade picking up the one guy from VP holding the headshot position on B allows everyone to get in so much faster, and that makes the life of the one remaining guy for VP on B so much harder to actually hold it off. And this is a golden opportunity for FlipSid to actually get a few rounds under their belt and actually build up their economy.
Bonda coming in with a double. Good entry so far for FlipSid. This gives World Edit now the room to pick up one of his own on Bialy and Blade. There's not much left after he gets his kill, so Snacks coming over with just the P250, firing, although getting cheeky. How does he pull that off? Picks up one headshot and then the second directly in front. Takes down 2, and guns falling out of the hands right now of FlipSid, who, again, do have bomb down, but there's low HP on Bondic. They've got to still be a little bit careful here. Although Blade does have the AK, gets a shot towards Snacks, down to 48, gets a second one, down to 14, but not able to hit that last one just yet, so Bondic, he's a little bit hesitant, he's a little bit timid, doesn't want to push back out, but he also is aware of the fact that there's a chance Snacks could rotate back down around him from Z-Hall, so he gets out of that position effectively, but 22 HP, I'm not sure he's going to get far enough away from the bomb, he's not, this AK's lost.
Bam. Pretty successful eco round coming out from VP. Even though it looked like it was going to be a pretty standard anti-eco from FlipSid, losing 4 members when they really didn't have to lose more than one. It's simple going down to Neo, that kind of happens in the thick of things while they're shaking over the site, but 2 more people dying to Snacks today, that was fairly unnecessary, and then dying to the bomb, obviously something that you should be able to avoid if you're FlipSid.
Simple, getting only the first. They lined up for him, but meat shield rather for Snacks allows him to fire back. More time to hit the shots, less time to take the damage. World Edit. He doesn't need many shots other than one as the op will find Bialy. So 2 guns already down on the side of EP, 1 gun down, and Simple down for FlipSid leaves us 4 on 3 with World Edit staring toward the B connector, making sure no one will get aggressive on that side of the map and catch them off guard. They've also got Blade, who's all the way out toward those B tunnels, so maybe just checking to make sure no one does push so that they themselves can take that map control back. Because whether or not they're aware, Pasha's down toward middle, and the last remaining player inside the A site from VP is looking toward A main aggressively, and Pasha finding Markelov evens it right back up, and he knows that they've got a presence in middle, so he falls toward the catwalk. Now, what he hasn't realized is that they're not heading toward A, they're still looking toward B. So lots of pressure on Snacks, but unfortunately Blade pushes forward to check below him, and that one vent bar was directly in his line of vision, so he couldn't spot up that there was a player in the back of the site, or rather in the room, but World Edit eventually does get Snacks, and the site's open.
Open site, and, well, still good possibility for VP to retake here. Get full through vents, actually, so World Edit, he's trapped.
And World Edit, though, does fight himself out of the first kill. Taz crossing over, takes a peek as he does so, winning the battle against World Edit, leaves just Bondic left. He knows Bondic has to be near the site somewhere, and now he knows exactly where as that nade comes out, but Bondic, he beats him to it, forces the flash to the right so that Taz was going to be caught regardless. That means he has to go left if he wants to stay in sight, and that means he does. He's already there jousting him.
Yeah, FlipSid just looking really solid on their T side so far. And, well, VP back to eco again, so this is looking terrible for them. And, yeah, even though VP are doing, a decent amount of economic damage, you can see Blade only affording to go to Galil at this point, even though FlipSid have won 4 rounds in a row. And as long as they can't get their rounds, FlipSid are doing everything they have to.
Shots rain in from World Edit successfully against Snacks, and the pistol of Bialy getting desperate out towards Squeak. He can't do much, and that means Pasha. He at least got 1 for his team, but 1 on 4? I don't know, Vendetta, what do you think?
I'm not too hopeful. I mean, it is Neo, but, best thing you can hope for is pick up a weapon, then bail the hell out, and hope for the best in the next round. And he's going to get an AK, but the question is whether or not FlipSid are going to allow him to get away with it.
Not going to allow him to do anything. with that gun, so that'll leave 3 players remaining. 14 rounds now, Flipside Tactics on Cash, a map that was picked by Virtus.Pro. So looking pretty good here for the Ukrainians against the Polish. The famous Polish roster, I guess you could say. Probably the most famous, if not the most famous of all time. They are definitely the most famous of all time, Vendetta.
I mean, yeah, well, if you're thinking about just mass, but that's partly because of the size CSGO is, obviously, because I think people will have pretty fond memories of the Golden 5 lineup. For good reason as well.
As Snacks fires through the smoke toward mid. Simple. Looking for a shot with the op.
Yeah. Double op setup on the VP side, actually, something we didn't see on their T side, understandably. But yeah, Neo and Pasha picking up both the Robs, sitting on both this, different side of the maps. Neo alone towards B, actually, and Pasha hanging out in quad boxes. And from the looks of it, FlipSid are setting up to do that standard A push that they did on the pistol.
And there's the smokes over the top. We can see their trajectory in the X-ray. It's going to be World Edit laid in because a flash popping down blinds them up just a little bit. So they need to be aware that Bialy's on top of the boost, and he's already found the first, but Bondic gets the trade. Now it's World Edit's turn to come around from quad. He reacts, but not quickly enough. Taz gets the kill, but what a shot from Simple as he comes out up close. No scopes him with the op, switches to the AK, smartly so as he takes down Snacks. It's just he and Bondic remaining up against Neo. And Neo knows that bomb's gone down, has the smoke prohibiting his vision to see if they recover out towards A main. But what a shot by Neo to get back into Simple. Knew exactly where he was going to be playing. And now he knows his position was to the right. The last position has to be to the left. Smoke over. Doesn't even care. Puts the flash up. Goes back to grab the op. Lots of time. And Neo, that was brilliant.
That was a really well played retake, for sure. So, making no mistakes. Obviously, helps that the last guy remaining is on pretty low HP. But yeah, that shot onto Simple by Trark, that was pretty nice fast scope. And yeah, keeps Virtus.Pro's hope alive. Obviously, seeing how FlipSid have been winning so many rounds in a row, they could still buy up, but it's also been mentioned the fact that VP have constantly been doing damage to them leaves them in a pretty awkward spot in terms of how much money they have, and you can see it's World Edit and Markov already down to pistols and Galil.
Taz looking for a way to get an angle in mid. He spotted them initially as they came around that red container, but there's only about a sliver of hope to find a shot there. Pasha, meanwhile, looking for the shot over top of drop. Doesn't find it on the first attempt, but does realize there is a player there. Meanwhile, they've all grouped back up toward A main, and that's where Bialy is waiting. First kill successful, second kill, third. They're all working in his favor as he turns back towards Squeaky. World Edit need to find a way to get back inside the site and pull this back into his favor. He has picked up the bomb, so interestingly, he could run back in toward A main right now, but instead he's going to stick around, try and take the fight. 53 seconds. He has lots of time to do what he wants, but he's pretty much committed at this point, and Neo coming over the top finds him. Success. 14 rounds they'll sit at for a while longer as VP gets number 11.
And that sends FlipSid back to an eco as well, so we should be looking at 12, actually, around 12 rounds in a matter of minutes for Virtus.Pro 2. So it's definitely not over, and for Virtus.Pro, obviously they know that they can win this map. They've already secured their ways into the upper bracket.
Snacks looking for an angle now on top of heaven. Pasha, bye-bye Simple, as we see his body fall back down. There's a nade now coming over the top, takes down World Edit as well. So 2-man advantage for VP. Bialy out toward the fence looking for someone to walk inside the A site. Hopefully someone, or at least from his perspective, hopefully someone does that as Pasha looking for another shot up on the drop. He tried to wait it out. He knew he was getting baited, so he waited a little bit too long. Missed the initial peek, but Bondic, he should not have peeked that twice because Pasha's not going to miss that many times. Blade at least gets one shot onto Pasha with the P250 to take down the op, but they get that back right away. As that's the only player they'll lose, and Taz will throw that back over to his buddy. By the way, Taz getting married this weekend. Not going to be at ESWC, but really cool that he's going to get married this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's this weekend. So he's going to follow, the footsteps of Pasha, who's already gotten married, right?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's actually Pasha's a little bit younger than Taz, so
yeah,
Taz a little bit late to the game, but
first.
No, really good guy. So I'm sure he'll have a successful marriage with his wife.
Yeah, and no, that's one of the, I guess, acceptable reasons for not being at an event, right? Getting married. I think that's one of the few very valid excuses you can have.
Land dodging, he's a cheater. Don't give me any excuses.
No, yeah, Taz confirmed land dodger. Yeah, that's fun. That's good news. I guess we're only have to waiting, you know, Neo to do the same because he has a girlfriend. He's about the same age as Taz, right? Just puts pressure on him. That's pretty much what the other guys are doing. Snacks with a pretty aggressive position here in the mid. He could actually get caught out if FlipSid decide to boost in, but he's got his eyes on Simple. Not going to get a kill from it, but does some damage to him. Bialy also taking up a really aggressive position here. The fact that FlipSid have pretty much lost map control already is a is a pretty bad sign. Bialy can easily punish a lot of the FlipSid members if they decide to go towards A main.
Pop flash from Snacks, try and fall back inside B. Nothing really going on at mid. He's discovered, so takes the gamble. They might be there. Rightfully so. Would rather be safe than sorry, but sorry he may now be because they have come out mid. And a little bit late they've gotten out, so now they'll push around the corner. Bondic finding Pasha. They fight back toward the Z connector. They've got all the access they need. Well, Bialy's not going to give them anything to work with and try and get the bomb down, but now it will. World Edit plants it, but he's going to get caught planting it. They'll go immediately for the defuse.
Looking at 13 as well. So, and, you know, the kind of dire situation that FlipSid find themselves in is the fact that if they'd lost that round without getting a bomb plant in, they wouldn't be able to buy up this round. So now they can barely afford to buy up stuff, but they're not going to have pretty much any needs to work with at all. And they're actually just going to opt for it. They're going to hope that the individual play is going to come up big. Actually, they're skimping on head armor. A couple of them, Blade and World Edit. Rather go for nades than head armor.
Waiting for the op shot from Pasha, but no one on boost this time. Bialy just waiting back toward quad. Simple wants to walk through using just the AK. No op for him. Tech 9 only for Markelov. There's Bondic. Simple. They both wait for this flash to come through. Expecting also to be counter flash. Took positions that were very precautionary as Pasha now will come back over and find Bondic. He's the first player through. Pasha finding Markelov, but Blade got Bialy before that, so he's the last one directly inside the site, but not before Taz can get up on top of the catwalk. And Taz, he's a devil. He's got 3.
Lays down the hammer right there. And, well, Bialy, kind of similar actually to what MBK does, plays that corner, which is, you know, pretty much called MBK or Bialy actually in a lot of circles in Europe for that reason. And it looked like FlipSid were very aware of the fact, so he got nothing done. Luckily for him, he had he had Pasha and Taz kind of carrying him that round. But he kind of needs to change things up, otherwise it's going to be too easy for FlipSid to know where to focus on whenever they're taking that A-bomb site.
Well, we'll see if FlipSid can finally find this elusive overtime point, so at least they can push this a little bit further, because how disappointing would it be, considering after winning the first gun, they got 5 straight rounds, to not be able to close this out. As World Edit sliding, we'll find Bialy coming out from behind the box, but that gives Blade the opportunity to fall back just a little bit. Still 4 on 4. Neo sharpening the knife, potentially looking to cook some dinner tonight. I heard he likes his steak medium rare.
The inside info you have.
I made that up, but I'm just guessing.
If there's no one there to dispute your statement, right?
Then it's factual.
It has to be true. Yeah.
Does a bear shit in the woods? I don't
that.
care. You can't dispute it. It's true.
And right now, well, FlipSid moving over towards that B bomb site. Snacks, though, already in a pretty good position. Gets taken out by Bondic, though, so this is a bit of an opening, but they have to get through Neo as well. And Pasha is quickly flanking.
And it's Neo now to find Markelov. Pasha coming around the corner looking for an additional angle, but so far all he's realized is that Bondic's got Neo. Has to be an angle to get back into, and he doesn't find it. He tries to push forward. Bondic now gets that kill, so he's brought this back from a 1-on-3. Gets the bomb down, and Taz not going to allow it to go any further. Virtus.Pro completing this comeback, but not done just yet. At least get themselves overtime point, match point to work with.
Bomb has been defused.
Yeah, so they definitely brought it back right now. 5 rounds in a row. It was looking really good for FlipSid, but the fact that they just got chipped away on in terms of weapons every single round, even when they won, allowed VP to break their economy, and that's how they've gotten, gotten the opportunity to actually fight their way back.
We're gonna see op on World Edit actually right now. Not simple, but at least one op out on flip side, so that could be a big factor. But again, they're setting up very passively.
Simple looking for an angle over toward B this time, so a bit of a change of play, bouncing that flash off the corner, through and into checker, does catch Pasha Biceps, but the Biceps is protected by smoke. Smoke that very likely spewed from his biceps when he flexed them, because they've got such amount of horsepower within them. But just leave that one there for a minute.
Well, it looks like there's, well, they want to sell that, you know, standard A-take really. That they've been doing quite a few times, but only world that is really moved up anywhere near. Simple's gonna get the frag onto Snacks though towards B. Actually gets both of them, and all of a sudden the entire map is open for FlipSide. Well, this is a bit of a rough spot for the two remaining VP members to find themselves in.
Simple, using the box to get some height advantage. Will find Neo's head creeping up where he thought he was safe, but he was not. That puts the bomb in position now for FlipSide. So finally a round to work with, and it looks like overtime is impending, and in fact it is. Bondic takes down Bialy, 15-15. So all we've really done is make this game go further. Now remember, a tie would do nothing. It would be inconsequential. If FlipSide win this, there might be a reason for a game 2 because they want to win out the series and get to the upper bracket. If Virtus.Pro win this map, nothing will change if they tie. And VP's already behind schedule, so we'll see what that might happen. I don't know if FlipSide would be willing to forfeit that on their behalf, because again, Virtus.Pro though, they could easily forfeit second map.
Yeah.
Not suggesting that could happen, but it is something that is a possibility.
It is a possibility for sure. I mean, they have half an hour roughly till their next game. But, you know, if you're VP, obviously you're a competitor, so you want to get the best possibility to win, and doing so would be to end up in the winner bracket. So they have to make sure they at least win cash. That's the big thing. If they lose cash, then, you know, FlipSide are looking, or potentially looking at a winner bracket spot. Well, we're going to get the overtime underway pretty quickly, so that's good.
VP saving some time here. Well, FlipSide. Oh, Snacks is going to go aggressive, and it's going to run into 5 people from FlipSide. Actually gets away with it. And he gets a ton of information as well, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw a rotation coming from BP soon.
Simple catching out Taz on the rotation. He gets just taken down before he can get into the safety of Z connector. Meanwhile, it's Neo that's back inside the site. Inside the smoke, knows that they've come to his direction, and Snacks managing to fire through, catches Markelov underneath the heaven. So good read by him. Shot coming from the op, not going to connect, but that gives Neo the chance to catch Simple, and Neo back through the smoke sees just the edge of World Edit. And Virtus.Pro strike first in overtime. 16-15, it's MR3, excuse me. 10K starting money, and the thing is with the 10K starting money is if you lose 2 in a row with big investments, you could save on the third, so FlipSide almost have to win right now.
Oh yeah, well they pretty much have to. And VP obviously very happy about winning that first round CT, because with MR10, 10K, or MR3, 10K, if you lose the first round as CT, you're going to be pretty stumped for money. Now they can make sure that they can buy every single round.
World Edit, peek once, spots him, peeks twice, kills him, takes down Pasha. This will allow Simple to go back over top of the drop inside mid. Try and get some mid control. That's the name of the game right now. That's all they want. Little do they know, though, there is an aggressive player inside of mid. It's Snacks. He's on the other side of that smoke when he walks out with a nade in his hand, and that allows Simple to just wait toward those vents and spot him on the left side. So now, Virtus.Pro have gone down 2 men, but they bring that back. In fact, all the way as Bialy now finds Bondic. But Simple, inside middle, still trying to get up toward Highway so they can split on this A site. In fact, he just wants to hold him in position because the bomb's going back over toward B right now in the hands of Blade. So this is a good call by the in-game leader. And now Virtus.Pro, who thought they'd equalize things, have to take a retake position on the B site. Although bomb's not there just yet. In fact, Neo could catch them in transition within the site if he can get up heaven fast enough. Instead, he's going to slow his pace down here, go for the walk, as Taz is doing the same, hoping that someone might be caught lurking. Bring it back to a 2-on-2 before they even get there. As Blade looks to plant. Aid reins in, bouncing a little bit high. That won't do much at all. As it catches the edge of the box, flash through to Checker. That gives the opportunity for a peek right now for Markelov, and it might be the right choices. Taz is going to try and come in through the vents, but he's not going. He's actually going to rotate all the way back to CT spawn, and Blade's going to try and beat him there. In fact, Taz just wants to save. Because although I said that it would be FlipSide that might have to save in the next round, they're not equally in any better of a position, so he goes back for the op, and that's the right call because they wouldn't be able to afford one otherwise. So 16-16 will split things up, and now it's going to be the elusive terrorist round when Virtus.Pro slip over. They've got to win one.
No, they actually could have managed to buy out because Neo's sitting at 8k now before the next round starts. Taz, I'm not really sure how he managed to go that low on money unless he bought an op for Pasha. I guess that's what they were thinking. The fact that if they save, hold on to that op, everyone's going to get every nade as well. Because that wouldn't have been possible if he'd gone for it and that most likely died in that retake. So yeah, it does make sense to save, but I guess if he was really desperate for it, he could have gone for the retake. Snacks again pushing him very aggressively. He's kind of been the unknown entity really for VP in this game. He's kind of been showing up everywhere and has been having pretty good success with it as well, barring that last round where he got picked up by Simple. Well, FlipSid just setting up. Yeah, well, yeah. FlipSid just setting up for that standard A take once again.
But Bialy's boosted in the sight. When they walk in, they should be able to spot him right away. And that'll give away the fact that there's two there, because how else is he that tall? I don't think stilts are an available purchase within the menu of CS right now, but Simple finds the first on Pasha, and there it is. Bialy with one. Snacks gets out from below, slides over to the left, gets another. And now it's going to have to be Bialy to go big again. He finds Markalov, and this slows things down again from FlipSid's perspective. But Blade came through A main all the while, unsighted, and now he's got a real chance here because Bialy expects the over-the-top play. Instead, it's straight on, and he's already low on HP. So Blade, easy shot, comes back to 2 versus 2. Blade, world edit, Snacks, Neo. Snacks the only one with that 100 HP. Snacks just barely narrowing, dodging that first shot from the op. World edit not going to make the mistake of the second, and it's a push through from Neo. Very low on HP, goes down World Edit, but in fact they win the round, and FlipSid with 2 T-sides. This looks pretty promising for them now.
Looks very promising. I definitely think Neo should have picked up that kill onto World Edit though. It's actually looking like a pretty decent situation for VP to be in that retake. With the Molotov down, pretty heavy damage on World Edit. That's definitely something that Neo could have worked with, but sees it not being cooperative in that situation. So FlipSid, golden opportunity here to actually close out map 1, which is Virtus.Pro map pick.
And Simple now with the op again toward mid, trying to find something, an opening, anything at all. As that bomb is down, we can see it on his X-ray on the other side of the smoke in the mid garage. A crate also in between though, so it's not like it's in direct vision, direct line of sight. Simple, realizing he's not going to have much company in action, is going to rotate back over toward the A site. Bomb still not committed. Team still split. Looking for an opening. 2 players actually lurking B, and Pasha's one of them. He finds World Edit jumping across. So now we'll see if the bomb is going to commit. We'll see if they can rotate this over, because again, we mentioned that Simple's left mid to head over toward A. So in fact, it's Markalov very long way away from the rest of his teammates that has to hold this site alone. He's looking to do the first shot, gets Neo, but overextends a little bit on the peak, leaves him very exposed as Pasha comes back around the corner with the op. Now it's Bialy who gets another, and Pasha finding Blade coming up onto Heaven. It's all left to Simple. 1 on 4, turning back, does find the lurk player, but not sure he's going to want to stick around for much more than that, because 42 HP, we talked about overtime and how much you have to save the economy, and I'm afraid that is a bit of an overextension as Pasha's going to find him.
Oh, it definitely is. Definitely is a bit of an overextension. They will be able to buy up this round, but then you get into the situation, if you lose here, you're going to be completely broke. You're going to have to fight up the last round with pistols, and that's not where you want to be in a deciding stage of a game. So no op this time around for FlipSid at all.
And now it's Simple to get over to the white box. Bonnick fires a nade in A main. That's going to do decent damage. That lands almost right on the feet of Pasha, down to 59, as he tries to get himself in position to use the op. In fact, he's gone to the top of the lockers, so if that smoke slowly dissolves, he'll have line of sight quite soon. Tasmully vents. Clear those out. We'll let it elects to go forward rather than back, so he's actually still going to be in mid to hold that. Weakens B a little bit, as they now do have 2 in middle, but once that extinguishes fully, he goes back through the vents and gets back to B. So World Edit compensating nicely, leaving Blade at sandbags. Flash comes over, Blade realizes he's got to hide, just watch the drop point, make sure no one gets around the corner, but look at Neo, who might come over the top here and find Blade. In fact, very easily finds Blade. Now he just needs to be aware, though, that there was a player crossing over from the middle point. no one's going to come toward him, so Neo's going to get to walk in all the way behind them here, and he may just cut off all the rotation points. Markelov goes down next, and VP, although they're losing bodies at A, have a bit of map control to work with based on Neo's position, but World Edit finding him. It does leave it just down to the one lowly Pasha Biceps. Lost all of his HP so far, at the start of the round of that nade, so 59 still remains using the op, looking for the shot, comes around the corner, finds Simple. Now he just has to fight himself open another nade. That's all 90 HP that he's lost, 91 HP that he's lost in this round. All to nades, and he whips a shot on the first attempt, and that gives it back to World.
Very back and forth round. Very back and forth. And it was kind of almost a replay of a previous round we saw, only
he ended up going towards the B bomb site, but Neo, somehow being a ninja and getting into that Z connector will time and time again pick it off Markelov. Markelov has to be kind of pissed about that right about now. But luckily for FlipSid, they do manage to salvage the round, and you can see even though they won the round, Blade is rocking an SMG, and Markelov on FAMAS.
World Edit, he gets himself into the corner, so 3 stack on B, guns up everywhere. Match point for FlipSid Tactics, or double overtime pending for Virtus.Pro. And again, VP, I'm sure they want to just wrap this up right now. Because like you said, there's only about a half hour to their next matchup. Not including the next map in this one. So if they win this first map, the rest of it's irrelevant. They could actually bail out of it. And that's what they're looking to do is Neo. He finds 2, Snacks gets 1. Snacks now makes it 2 as well. So that's a double for each. And Simple goes down as the last. It's World Edit in a 1-on-4. He's going to go for it. No reason to save. Swapping out guns here. Going to pick up the op. And a successful shot as soon as he pulls it out, too, as well as he takes down Snacks, but not going to last much more than that. Double overtime incoming, and Virtus.Pro, again, they really want to get this over with.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to get pressed for time. Yeah, it's going to be curious to see what they're actually going to do, but obviously they want to start the second overtime as quickly as possible. You can see they're already readying up. Well, I guess they do, well, the work has to be done on their CT sides, well, for both teams, really, because that's where we saw them lose the most rounds. And, well, FlipSid again got the first chance of rectifying that. And the second overtime.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it all unfolds. Back to guns. Back to op out for Pasha. Back to op out for World Edit. So not Simple. He's going to go for the M4. As World Edit looking for the shot on Pasha. And it's going to be Taz down. Also, the person in chat who's saying that I did not say it was the last round. You're an idiot, because I clearly did. Taz takes down Simple and Bondic. Virtus.Pro again have the one-man advantage in the round. Bondic, Simple, they're the ones that have dropped. But Snacks is round to the corner inside the site. Instead, he's going to back his way into the corner and get himself out, because Blade's come back over and he wants the site back. And so far, he's successfully in doing so as Bialy drops, but Neo finds him. And now they've got no one close enough as Snacks is going to take down Markelov, so yet another round. That looks like it might go to Virtus.Pro. World Edit, the last one left. And this time, my friend in chat, there is a chance he'll go for the save, but instead, he walks up towards Neo, finding the first opening shot. That gives him the confidence to push forward. Almost hits the drop as he goes down, but Taz hits him up with the initial damage. He's down to 28, and he wants to push forward again toward quad. Turning back on A main, knows where the second player is, but that gives it up that he's going to push, and World Edit, he's going to go down. Virtus.Pro, the first lead.
Yeah, great round from Taz, though. After Pasha gets picked off towards B at the beginning there, him picking up those double frags pretty much just opens up that A bomb site completely. And there's no way he actually should be able to pick up 3 frags in a situation like that. But I think FlipSid played a tiny bit poorly. When I think it was Blade was caught up, or maybe it was Bondic who was caught out in front of the wall and had Taz shooting at him, that's where the second guy needs to pop out and actually help him out. Otherwise, they're just gonna sacrifice themselves and make it so much easier for Taz to actually get 2 kills. Well, VP already getting mid control here, and we've seen that they've been extremely effective once they actually get a hold of mid. So this is scary for FlipSid.
Snacks flashed out, still inside the vent, and it's again World Edit who is going to be the player that gets some highlight moments or at least some camera time, but unfortunately not to his advantage. He gets down by Pasha with the op. This brings Markelov in position, who does drop bomb carrier, but Simple's there now to take down Taz. In fact, this is all working out just by getting Simple and Markelov there when they do. On a quick rotation, it slows everybody. Simple's going to find another through the wall. That's Pasha to go down. Leaving Bialy 1-on-4. AK in the hands. Finds the first on Simple, but that's as good as it's going to get for him. Markelov gets the remainder, and 19-19.
Yeah, and, well, we're going to see if FlipSid can be the first team to actually get 2 rounds on the CT side here. And if they do, they're looking at a pretty good shot at actually closing this out. EP obviously want none of that. They're going to be able to buy fully up as well, seeing how they won the first round. No issues there. World that is actually down to UMP.
As Bialy smoke out, nade as well. Bialy just looking, has to fall back on that. Didn't really take a lot of damage as it went behind him, so only lost 12 points of health. But it is Pasha on 76, so they've lost a little bit, and that's an interesting spam spot for Bialy to try and anticipate that someone might be boosted up into the corner. As Simple sliding out, we'll get Pasha down now at mid. And they're still going to boost up an additional player, and that might actually work out in their favor because Simple's left as he hopes desperately that everyone else is going to rotate over toward A based on his initial kill. That's not going to be the case, so now they've got mid control. They'll go for this pinch on A. No one rotating over from B. There's only 3 players here. But Simple still in an okay spot as the door opens. He's in great line to take down Taz, but not on the second. It's Bialy that gets the trade, and now Bialy through the door. He's got more than that. He'll check both sides of the corner as Snacks now finding on Blade, but bombs dropped as Markelov gets Snacks just in the nick of time. And Bialy, 38 HP, the last one to remain. Puts the bomb down on the safe spot because he can't risk being in the open and not even giving himself a chance at the post plant. As the SMG comes toward him, the SMG, the UMP, it's going to do all the work. It's world edit again, and it's now going to be 20 rounds for FlipSid. Virtus.Pro with that one T-sided round. We'll swap it over and see if they can do this better on the second half.
Wow. Impressive stuff from FlipSid, managing to get 2 rounds on the CT side, even with a bit of a hampered buy in that last round. Very solidly done, and well, now it's on VP. I mean, I'm just continuously thinking about that time issue that VP are going to have run into, because they have another scheduled match in 20 minutes. So this is pretty big if FlipSid manages to steal this game. Then they might be looking at winner bracket just from winning that one map.
Well, that's the thing. You know, if they can pick up the one map, then there is a chance that the second one's irrelevant and inconsequential. I mean, even if they take the tie, right? So,
yeah,
it's definitely a possibility that may not be played based on their schedule. I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, you mentioned it earlier. There's only about, I mean, it's got to be even less than that now to their next match. Not a lot of time. In fact, by the time this first map's over, after all the pauses that we've had, and now the double overtime situation, that the second map doesn't even have time to be played, really.
Yeah. That's pretty much the situation we found ourselves in, and well, not sure why it's taken a while to actually swap over to the side. I'm not sure why the teams aren't readying up. But I guess with that said, this was the first time, you know, any team has picked up 2 rounds on the CT side in the overtimes, and normally that should be the side where we actually do the best on. But you know, we've said it several times when we've been casting. Whenever we go into overtime, things just kind of flip on its head. Seems to be like the team that struggled on the T side, for instance, in the regular time, they all of a sudden get a 3-0 in their overtime, something to that effect.
I'm not sure what our delay is here. Because everyone's calling for ready up. Yeah, no, our admin did say no breaks, please, and then Snacked asked for the rules, but I'm not sure who called the initial pause when we switched over at halftime, so this is interesting to see, because I don't see it in the chat log at all.
Oh. It seems like FlipSid are the ones for not readying up right now.
Yeah, FlipSid's not at all, because we can see it here. Console don't know where FlipSid is, so Console's actually talking now, not just the admin itself. And now they're here. So smoke break potentially, perhaps a little bit of communication. That's probably a little bit unsportsmanlike to try and extend a intermission to execute a timeout. So hopefully that's not the case, although that's not something that's uncommon. Teams do that every now and then.
Yeah, name of the game is pretty much first man to 22 rounds. VP obviously kind of need to get 3 straight here. They don't. I don't think they have the time to actually go for a triple overtime.
Bialy lobs an 8 in toward the A main position, 11 HP loss from Bondic. That's it. Does Virtus.Pro want to get this first round in overtime? They definitely want the first map as well, but first round to bring this back to 2020 rather than having 2 match points given up and having to force a third overtime at best. So we'll give them a chance. World Edit looking to put a smoke grenade out onto A. And this is their default. They've gone to it. We'll see if Virtus.Pro can read it. They've already got a player on the catwalk. That's Pasha, so he's above. Simple looks toward mid. The execution wants to come from doorway. As World Edit gets in position. Meanwhile, Pasha does find Bondic before that. And now they'll reconvene and reevaluate as they want to put Simple up over top. Try and find Taz, but he's running. He'll definitely be heard. Question is, from Taz's point of view, is he inside A main or is he over the top? And Taz doesn't yet know that, but Taz, when he peeks, soon realizes it. Gets the kill on Simple. Bialy gets the kill on Markelov and doubles up as he takes down Blade. It's left to World Edit. Inside that open door, a window of opportunity perhaps, but either way, he only gets the dink up in return as World Edit goes to 96. And now he goes to 0 as Bialy comes through and gets tagged by his teammate through the wall, but nonetheless, it's 2020. How's your vision?
Not 2020. It's actually incredible how poor vision I've gotten over the years. I feel like I'm getting super, super old. But, you know, luckily, I figured out that, you know, you start off with good vision as a kid, or, you know, it gets gradually worse to a certain point where you're about, you know, the middle of your life expectancy, I guess. And then it gradually gets better as you get older, after a certain point. So there you go. At least I've heard that, and I'm just banking on it being true. Because I have pretty poor eyesight right now.
Thank you for that interesting analysis on eyesight.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, because there wasn't really that much to be said about that previous round from VP. They just kind of stomped FlipSid that round. Pretty efficient hold. And again, you know, and Daedra repeating ourselves, winning that first round on the CT allows you to buy up every single round after an MR3 overtime. So they're in a pretty good spot right now.
So now it's World Edit. It's inside A main looking for Bialy to push through. Flash does pop, but World Edit dodging that, times it accordingly and tries to get that counter peek. And now he goes for the spray through the wall as well, and that puts Bialy at the end of it all on 74 HP, so not a whole lot lost as Snack stays on 42.
Oh, Neo.
Yeah, Neo, this is the thing. It's very aggressive from the B tunnels, and now he's got Blade down. 2-man advantage, bombs in that corner as well. Neo won't know that. But it does mean they have to all work toward his position, and it won't even get that far because Taz and Pasha each contribute as well. Neo stays alive, everyone's up, and it's match point this time for Virtus.Pro. Map point, and makes the series inconsequential if they pick up the map.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. FlipSid not having the money to do a really solid buy either because of, you know, the ops that they picked up in the previous rounds and whatnot. So, not many nades to work with, which most of their executes rely on, and not the best weaponry either. Already Blade down.
But Bondic's made his way inside A. In fact, quite deep inside the A site, as he now gets Bialy. Bondic's got Snacks. He's making a case to put this further, doing all the work for his team so far. As Pasha, though, up close gets Simple. That allows Markelov to jump back up. As the bomb goes down, Markelov very quickly escapes to A main. In fact, so quickly that Taz didn't expect that at all. But now it's back to a one-on-one. Markelov has to try and get back in here. Flashes pop. Can Markelov get close enough? The defuse is still coming in, and he just barely does. We're going to triple overtime.
Triple overtime, and yep, VP have about 15 minutes to either win or lose this map. That's what we're looking at, and well, seems like these teams are just marrying each other pretty nicely. I mean, as you would have, given it being its third overtime, but no, VP had every chance in the world of actually picking up that round. Lesser weaponry from FlipSid, didn't have any nades to hold off potential retake if that was the case, but Bondic just doing a massive job picking up those 2 first frags once it got onto that A-bomb site. Which is pretty much what sealed the deal for FlipSid, or made it possible, I should say, for FlipSid. Now they're just setting up in their standard default, which they've done for, you know, most of their T side actually, and most of the time when they've set up like this, they end up going towards that A-bomb site.
It's Taz inside A. Simple trying to use the ledge behind the white. And Sun to see over top. Doesn't really need to as he walks back out and just sees Neo sitting in the open, so First blood does go the way of FlipSid in overtime number 3. Poland versus Ukraine. Simple flashing toward the checkers, and now it's a slide out from the opposing player to get aggressive upon him, but World Edit's looking for the shot at middle. He finds Taz. Meanwhile, though, that Molotov on Cubby just to check and see if anyone's there is going to be ineffective. No one is waiting. That doesn't matter, because finding out that, they'll take over mid, and now they could try and split. And the question is, where do they split? Looks like it's going to be A, as they still have a player working out towards Squeaky. That means Bialy's going to be in a world of pressure as he comes out and realizes that a little bit too soon. As now that Squeaky door is open, there's no one even close to the site. Virtus.Pro with only Pasha. He's just going to look to make sure he doesn't lose this op.
Bomb has been planted.
Yeah, that round pretty much goes down to the fact that they find 2 openings. Mid's left open. Kind of similar to what VP took advantage of quite a few times on their T side, so... No, not anything crazy going on from either side, just FlipSid hitting their shots right there. Yeah, we actually have our first 40 bomb of the game, albeit in triple overtime, but simple. Sitting on 40 frags. Neo actually not that far off. Neo's had a great game so far.
Yeah, pretty good scores for a couple of people on there. Neo again, 35-27. Positive scores as well for Taz. And Pasha. As we see things slow down a little bit to start this one off. Simple looking to look through the smoke on the B site. Simple now falls back, but bigger question is, what's the plan going to be? What's the attack going to be? Because so far things haven't necessarily unfolded in every single round. Last time they got A based on some early picks, but it's B that's been a bit of a problem. And again, they're going to try and push up toward those vents and get toward mid. And if they can control mid and Bialy can win the exchanges as the flash comes through, they give themselves a better chance. Doorway's open outwardly, but fire inside of it means World Edit has to wait just a second longer before he puts that op in position. Bialy has to be conscious of the fact that that door's open, and we can tell he is. He still wants to look toward A main, but with every movement he makes, he second guesses it just to make sure he's not going to get countered off and pinched out from a double side. So it will bring Snacks over to help out from that perspective alone, and now it's going to be Taz that gets the first kill, but it's traded. In fact, so is the second. As Snacks gets Markelov and World Edit goes back. Finally, though, Bialy gives the advantage to Virtus.Pro. And that's going to make it 1-on-3 now for Simple. 9 HP does find the first on Taz, but it's immediately gone afterwards. 22-22, 2 rounds gone in overtime 3.
Yeah, and once again, Pasha trying to go aggressive in mid there, getting into garage and potentially backside, because VP had a pretty good sense of what was going on from FlipSid's end. But Simple playing so passively again, but from a different position this time around, on top of the, I guess, truck. Towards T-spawn, catching Pasha out again. So I wouldn't expect Pasha to go aggressive towards mid anytime soon from this point on. Run boost from VP. Bialy on top of, I guess, the Maniac boost, if you want to call it that, because he's the one who's been most prominent using it. And they're actually going to leave him completely alone on that A-bomb site with it. Again, FlipSid setting up for the standard 8 smokes here. We've seen them use it and not commit to it at all, but given how they're set up right now, with only Simple actually towards anywhere near that B-bomb site, it looks like it might be an A execute once again.
And Bialy looks to be the one in the driver's seat. Again, though, shooting very early, so although he gets the first kill, has to fall off the position because he would have been scouted out as soon as he came in. Neo, meanwhile, takes down Simple. Fire in the back. Forces Bialy, or rather Pasha, out of position. It's Bialy that stays on the fence. And Pasha gets caught by Markelov because of that, but Bialy closes it out. Another round, he comes up big, and it's 23 rounds now for Virtus.Pro, 1 over their opponent as we head over to the second half.
So, second time around, CT side picks up 2 rounds. That's a good sign for Virtus.Pro, and, oh yeah, A-Take not working out that time. Bialy actually did a pretty nice job. Like, the second after he gets that first frag inside of A-main, when he drops down, he actually closes the door as well through doorway. So the guy from FlipSid inside there, he kind of loses any opportunity to actually get a return frag towards the truck area. So that's a nice, nice move. VPR could just going straight out onto A.
Meanwhile, Bondic, though, will take down Snacks. Bialy, though, again, Virtus.Pro starting off strong, and it's on the back of Bialy as he gets Bondic, and he's just going to hold the truck side right now, all the way back from the forklift. Throws out a Molotov that covers off the top of highway. They can still peek from it, but they won't be able to push through it. And Simple finding Taz goes down to a very low percentage of health remaining. In fact, only 8. But World Edit, he doesn't care how much he's got. He's going to use his own to his advantage, and he takes down Bialy. It's Neo that's left. He does bring it back to a 2-on-2, pushing forward. He knows they're on the defuse. They have to get in on it quickly, and it's already defused. It's already gone. Pasha might have got the first kill, but he has to keep the consolation prize. Manages to save it, but it's 23-23.
A very heads-up play from FlipSid as well. Knowing that the two remaining members from VP were actually both in A main, it looks like they were ready for that Molotov thing to come in, because both players from VP had Molotovs ready, but that smoke just instantly extinguishes the first molly out, and that means they both have to push out. Just very nicely played. And this time around, focusing heavily on mid control right about now at the beginning. 3 people aiming towards mid for FlipSid. No any super aggressive moves coming up from VP this time around though, slowing things down.
Now Simple just waiting at mid. Really not much to say so far, as it's all quiet on the Western Front. Neo still waiting over at B for anyone to push carelessly and try and get information from the CT perspective, but it's going to be a sit-back play. Finally, World Edit will go back through the vents as he was the aggressive player, and it's going to be actually the wall of smokes mid, but interestingly enough, this might just be for sale, because everyone's heading back over toward A, so they don't actually want that vent control that you would typically execute after putting those smokes out. It's going to be on to A, and they've got the rotations done accordingly. This is working out perfectly for VP. Problem is, so far, they haven't got Bondnik, and he's made the call that they're coming, so everyone's going to be back just in time, and this may actually still work out for FlipSid as Pasha burns Bondnik alive. Blade gets around the corner. It's Bialy to take in Markelov into the next. But the bomb does get planted. That's important, as VP still sit 3-on-3, but have low HP. It's Pasha to go down, as Simple finding the first kill. Markelov, 7 HP left, but finds the headshot on Taz. And it's left on to Bialy. He goes down as well, and it's going to be yet another defuse for FlipSid. And another situation where we either see another overtime or we see FlipSid close out the map as they sit on match point.
Yeah, and Pasha there was in a golden opportunity to actually pick up at least 2 kills, but he misses 3 pretty big shots. And that, well, really allows FlipSid to get on towards that A bomb site. I also think the actual take from Virtus.Pro on A was pretty slow after, you know, as you said, selling those smokes in mid. Pretty much setting up that wall, you know, potentially giving off that it might be a B fake. They were so slow to actually get onto the site. Pasha spots out the first guy, or the sole guy from FlipSid on the A bomb site, but they just allow the entire Ukrainian team to rotate over, and by the time they actually push out, there's 3 people nearby.
Pasha though opening the kill on Simple. Might open up a little bit of mid-play because we can see World Edit's not inside vents this time, so he can't get there as quickly. That forces a rotation out of Blade to come all the way back down to Z. And again, this weekend's A. Somewhere's got to sacrifice from this. And it looks like Blade will eventually go back.
And that leaves mid open, so Neo and Snacks can do a lot of damage here.
Bondnik in a bit of an unorthodox position. Needs not to get caught by the door opening behind him, but trying to use it to his advantage. Unfortunately, no one's coming from that door. They're going to line up, and Bondnik's going to take down 2. Neo gets Blade before that, but it's Snacks to come back on Bondnik, so bomb has been dropped, has to be recovered. And the man advantage still goes the way of VP as World Edit. Markelov, they're a bit far away, coming from B, and World Edit with his knife out almost gets caught by Neo. Eventually does get the M4 back in his hand as the bomb goes down, flash over the top, and World Edit's blinded. He's down, he's out, and Virtus.Pro tie it up. We're going overtime, number 4.
This game just won't end, and well, we're 5 minutes away from VP's next game starting, so someone has to break the deadlock at some point here. And right now, it's just very, very even. There's actually 3 players on VP with 39 frags.
The record that I've casted was an MR10 overtime that went for 69 rounds. Many of you will remember it from DreamHack Romania when Nip played Envious. But this has all the writing on the wall that it could go for a while yet because it's constant trading of rounds. Simple trying to see through the wall of smoke at mid. But right now the CTs are fanned out across the map quite evenly. And as we can see from the map, it's VP all looking to go to A, but there's now a bit of a stack as they've rotated early, so FlipSid read this correctly based on VP heading A pretty much every round in overtime last. As Bondic will now get Neo. Blade's there as well. It's just a slaughter. There's nowhere to go, and Pasha comes through, realizes that Taz is the last that's left. He's taken down as well, and VP might have to go back to the drawing board because they're being figured out by FlipSid now.
And again, they do the wall of smokes in mid, but they spend so much time not doing anything towards any spots of the map, you know? So Simple has all the time in the world to actually get onto the railings in mid, see over the smoke, see that nobody's there, and then rotate over towards A. And that's even, he gets all of that done even before VP had executed towards the site. So there's no real point in actually throwing those smokes if you're not going to use them to your advantage. Alright, so at the start of the round, trade's going off, 1 for 1 right now. Neo down to 6 HP though, and Pasha on half HP, so... Actually looking at a pretty similar situation with HPF Bondic and Simple too, but VP once again going back to A.
And it looks like they'll be relentless about it this time, far more relentless as Taz now taking down Markelov, gives them a bit of a time for plant, but no it doesn't, World Edit's too quick on that case, so... Pasha has to go back 1 versus 1 now as he takes down World Edit, but there it is, all the way from behind. Simple's going to get him. And FlipSid with 2 rounds could potentially give themselves their biggest lead after half and overtime yet. If they could get all 3 of these, it would be miraculous. And what does VP do now? Because it's almost an eco. In fact, it's the first time we've seen a 4 spy in overtime because everyone's been trading so evenly.
Yeah, and it's going to be so hard for VP to actually do anything about the defensive FlipSid now. Flip had kind of similar round actually. I think it was after the first overtime where they had very limited nades where Bondic ended up picking up 2 people towards that A bomb site. But I don't know, the weaponry of VP and the it's not going to be easy because that should have been around where VP won, the one there where Bondic picked up 2 entry frags on A, and you know that probably would have killed the game right there, and VP would have gone on to either the next map or their next game. Instead, we're looking at VP in a pretty tough situation. And this time they actually throw down the wall of smokes once again, but they're actually going to do something with it. And you can see Simple is kind of expecting the A push to come out here.
And they've gotten up middle. It's going to be highway. Simple's waiting hard right, goes for the jump on the flash to spot. Smoke comes out to counter it, but he did spot 1 heading toward CT, and look at the recovery team that's after him. It's a full task force. They've designated all the tax spenders' money on this one, and it's going to be Blade that does eventually get Taz, but in the process, they've given up the B site now. So Virtus.Pro, again, selling a dummy by getting up toward middle. Bomb's going to go down from Neo. Gives us a 3-on-3. Fire comes out. This means Neo's got to get away. 28 HP left, and Bondic coming through the vents will catch Bialy. That will allow his teammates to realize where he's coming from, but him taking down Neo, it's all left to Pasha. And again, it's going to be 3 rounds now that head the way of FlipSid in this first half of overtime number 4. And FlipSid have a match point to work with 3 straight times.
Yeah. And FlipSid have to win at this point. They've got such a big advantage. They've been doing a good job of steadily getting rounds on the T side. I mean, this should be the best opportunity they can give themselves. Obviously, you're not going to win 3-0 in an overtime half that often, so if they can't do it now, I suspect we might be going for quite some time. Well, doing something similar to what we saw them do in one of their later, or one of the other overtimes actually, which is setting up with 5 people towards that B bomb site. Didn't not work out. Both Snacks and Neo picked up 3 and 2 frags respectively that time around. And, well, with the aggressive smokes coming out, they're actually going to back off.
Blade. They bounce that Molotov in toward Checker and try and shoot, hoping that the player is running back inside the B site will get caught by those AK bullets.
Rotation has already come in from Pasha as well. VP have not left mid open as of right now with Taz holding on to it. So I'm expecting VP to either try to clear out or have Pasha rotate back towards mid. So it ends up being Pasha rotating back. He's just going to go to A and Taz is going to stay in mid.
Flash over the top in mid, but we saw a little bit of damage come out before that. Neo getting some information, has to run and hide, back to 47 HP, but does catch Simple, who goes aggressive on the hunt, and Neo with the repeak. Needs to be aware, though, as he heard him. He definitely heard that last step from Blade 100% as he turns back and just waits for him to drop into his crosshair. Pasha goes down, or rather, excuse me, takes World Edit down next, and again, the elephant in the room, it's Markelov this time who stomps away, and flawless round from Virtus.Pro.
Bit of a weird execution from FlipSid. Initially, it looked like they wanted to go towards that B bomb site, and it ended up being kind of a lackluster, do whatever you want type of round. Some people going towards A main, some people walking out mid and actually pushing up towards highway. And then obviously Simple kind of just hanging out by B all by himself. So it didn't really look like it was any particular thought behind what they were doing, but you know, people are just going to say thank you and pick up that round. This time, though, moving very quickly towards the bomb site. Already 3 people inside of A main. Actually, a bit of a difference too. This time it's Blade who's left alone towards that B bomb site. Normally that's Simple's position, kind of just hanging back and lurking, but they want him in for the retake on A. VP already having 3 people towards it though.
Firing out a ton of bullets through the smoke is Simple and his teammate, but they haven't found anything yet. And this might end up being a sale of fake, but Snack's pushing forward, getting back over toward mid, collects Blade on the rotation back toward B, so now it may slow back down and actually have to be an A. They might have tried to fake it and go back, but as they lose players, they can't possibly hope to do so. Bondic on the boost is the next to go down, but Simple eventually does get Taz in that initial corner. Bialy dropping bomb. This round is over. Virtus.Pro, they brought it back to, again, a situation where it's win or overtime. Why on the last round does it go back to the previous overtime? This said 4 a second ago.
I have no idea.
Ebot.
The game isn't ready for this many overtimes. I think that's the simple explanation. Because we've pretty much played an entire new game on cash in overtime. If we get to another overtime, then we're actually going to get another 30 rounds.
And now it's Snacks dropping inside of B, looking to get aggressively through the smoke, and bullets coming out in his direction as quickly as they were firing the other. So 27-26, potentially we end it now, or we get at least another 4 more rounds added to that total.
And again, flip side, going, for that tried and true A take from the looks of it. Simple now back in his normal position towards B. Markelov and Bondic setting up for the A-smokes. They have gone towards mid, though, a couple of times here, so we might be seeing the B fake round where they try to sell the 8 push with Markelov indoors. Ooh, Bialy actually pushing aggressive, gets caught out by World Edit. And all of a sudden, there's an opening towards A. And, yeah, now we're seeing them back off. Bondic's already got mid-control and, well, already lost mid-control as I say that. This is going to be the B fake, or yeah, the eventual B take from FlipSid. It's only Neo left.
Exactly. It might be the right call based on the fact that Snacks we just saw is rotated over to mid, so Neo has to come up big. He does find at least 1, but that's all he's going to get. So Blade getting that next kill means Snacks back through the vents. So often people just rush through those vents thinking they're going to surprise people, but it's so common that someone's waiting below, and that's exactly what Simple does. But Taz is the next one through, and he will be the element of surprise. Simple, no idea he was coming, gets caught in the corner. Now it's going to be World Edit to drop, and VP, they're going to do this. 27-27, make it overtime number 5.
Oh, man. This game is never going to end.
How's your ice cream?
No, dude, it already melted like 13 rounds into the first map. Or, I mean, I say first map, but, into the first half. That ice cream is dead. Maybe I can get the winner of this game to actually buy me ice cream at the next event. I feel like they owe me.
50 bomb now for Simple. Again, we've played more than that in rounds as we're on what will be round 55, but 50 bomb nonetheless, still interesting to see. 43 for Neo, 45 for Pasha, so lots of high scores right now.
42 and 12 for Bialy. 12 assists. So, sharing the love right now. And again, yeah, FlipSid just setting up with their standard default.
Look for Bondic to wait for someone at the drop to get counter boosted is what he's anticipating, but no one's there just yet. Molotov, interestingly, into Sunroom. But throwing that, it would have been cool to see Neo be in a position to catch the player in transition. Nonetheless, Snack still finds the kill on Simple.
That's actually happened quite a few times now. Normally it's Neo to pick up that frag, but Simple has gotten caught out whenever he aggresses towards that B bomb site by himself quite a few times. So that's a bit of an issue for our FlipSid that they need to work on. Obviously, this is going to help out the A defense for BP as well. They can rotate one extra man over.
Now it's going to be Bondic looking for the entry. Bondic gets the first on the alley, but there it is. He gets through, finds another. It's Taz, but Pasha's there to hold on, and Pasha's going to bring it back potentially as he gets two. Snacks only gets one, but that might be all he needs as World Edit. He's the last one left, 1-on-2, and Neo all the while was walking onto the flank. Virtus.Pro, they bring it to 28.
Yeah, so they start off once again winning that first CT round. They're going to be able to buy up for the remaining, 2 remaining rounds on their CT side, so that's a good spot to be in. And, well, it's time for FlipSid to fight the uphill battle once again.
And now it's going to be another look toward mid, potentially for Simple, where he tries to open up round after round. But he thinks better of it. He's going to join World Edit, raiding party onto the A site. But look at the information. This is awesome. Neo and Snacks, they're going to be all the way up toward B tunnels already. There's going to be nowhere for them to retreat, as they also have Taz and Vents. A little bit weak on A right now, but the flank and the rotation would be coming quite quickly if it should happen.
Yeah, and you can already tell Neo's on his way towards that A bomb site, and Taz is probably going to follow suit in a fairly short amount of time. So, Wall of Smokes goes down for FlipSid as well. Now the A exit calms down, but there's 4 players from BP here. This should be enough for BP to hold off.
So far, it's going to work out that way as Pasha picking up a double before retreating. And oh, they line up. Bondic gets both. One with the head over top of his intended target. Neo drops down completely inadvertently, and that brings the round back to a 3-on-3. So Bondic, with a little bit of luck, might make this work as Simple gets the next kill. But now it's Bialy to double back up. And it's down to a 1-on-1 as he gets traded by World Edit.
Oh, but Snacks opting to go the unconventional route here, going through doors. And this might actually catch World Edit. Even though World Edit actually seems to have a new plan of his own, he's got to go towards that B-bomb site and just completely negates Snacks' plan. So this is a really smart play from World Edit.
He figured that out very quickly, that he had the option to do that. So Snacks, still all the way over on A, is now going to realize bomb's gone down, have to go for the run. Again, this would tie it right back up on 28-28. In only the second round of this 5th overtime. We're not that far into this by any means of imagination. Where it would give Virtus.Pro the chance to force the economy. Although a bomb plant does go down, that will allow them to force quite heavily. But Snacks, back turn, he's going to get exposed, and he guesses entirely wrong as World Edit waits on top of the bomb. What a cheeky play.
Very, very good play from World Edit in that 1v1, but what saves it for FlipSid is that crazy double kill from Bondic there. Like, partly, I think he actually was flashed for the better part of that as well, but ends up picking Neo on the first shot, who was way in the back, nowhere near what he was actually aiming for. But, you know, he's not going to care about that. That really just made it for FlipSid. And, ooh, super aggressive play from Snacks in mid here. He might actually catch someone off, because they've not been this aggressive so early, but apparently Simple spider senses. He just knew that. I'm not really sure if Snacks made any sound, but from, you know, whenever I watched him, it didn't look like he actually made any sounds, but FlipSid are very aware of it. Blade actually might have caught him out, or seen him go in, or the backside of the red truck. Or red box. But yeah, that's a big opening for FlipSid. And now they're just setting up with their standard default once again. Wouldn't be too surprised if they end up going towards A this time around, because they know they spread the defense then, and very unlikely for VP to have 3 or 4 players towards that bomb site in a situation like this.
So we'll see how they choose to play this. We did still see Taz was aggressive up middle, but he's just come back through the vents. I think Simple heard that because he did try and take a bit of a peek to see if he could spot him. Meanwhile, World Edit looking to lurk over back in the A position. Bomb is behind him, just right behind him, in fact, inside that A main position. As we also have Markelov waiting at Squeaky. So Blade's going to work with Simple to see if they can open up B. If they don't, watch for the A hit immediately after, but that A hit's already falling apart because Pasha's found World Edit. Meanwhile, it is Simple to get the first kill. Taz will bring it back. Bomb's still lurking toward Pasha, though. He's now waiting at quad. Op is firmly fixed on the doorway and backwards through the door. Markelov tries to use that flash, won't matter. Virtus.Pro, 29 rounds. And we swap over to do it all again. Second half, overtime 5.
Crazy stuff. And that was a golden opportunity for FlipSid to actually get a get a hold of this or over time. I mean, pretty much whenever one of the teams have had an advantageous position, the other team seems to come back. And that's definitely around that FlipSid should have been able to do something about getting that early frag onto Snacks in mid there. Especially given how, you know, they've normally gotten quite a bit out of their A-takes. But yeah, solid on BP. They actually put them in a pretty good position to actually go away with this game.
Simple staying sandbags. No op out for him, electing to go with the M4. Breaks out vents early. Let's see if he plans to rotate through them late and not have to give himself up. There's the op's out for Pasha, though. That's T-sided op for Pasha. And we'll see if Bialy's going to put him up. He is. So what can Pasha find? That's the better question right now. As he's already pre-scoped on... Well, he was pre-scoped onto the white box. Now he's just checking every possible angle as the Molotov and vent would force the player out. But they still have to contend with the fact that Blade is on the highway, bottom of the highway. Simple's the one that was out of position and pushed back away, but he's gone back up to A, in fact, and Blade's collected on 2 that have gone over the top. So this is looking good, and Pasha... He's got no answer. They're going to go ahead and boost up Simple, who almost gets caught mid-jump because he was still in the middle of the slide, but lands back on his teammate's shoulders to get the first kill. Bialy, though, gets right back into him. Bondix there. And FlipSid, they tie it back already.
One of the few times FlipSid actually held mid for an extended period of time, going into the later stages of the round. Normally, we've seen Simple being the guy initially holding it, then backing off towards CT Slope helping out the A site from Car, that type of thing. But this time, Blade sticking around, and that definitely caught Virtus.Pro off guard. So they just kind of lined up for him, and 2 easy entry kills or opening kills for Blade.
So Bondix lobs a nade in toward A main. Very passive thus far. As Pasha, though, he's gotten inside the corner, and I think World Edit might know this. As he lobs a nade in there immediately after, and Pasha might have problems getting away. World Edit's going to fall back inside the site, though, because by trying to peek Pasha, he leaves himself exposed for anyone else who's working with him. So it's World Edit to get on top of the platform. Simple looking toward the squeaky door. No one coming through just yet. As he wants to evaluate and investigate every possible angle that might be a problem.
And yeah, from the looks of it, we're actually going to see a B take from VP, not even a split. This we haven't actually seen in a while.
Good flash in. Markelov, though, only getting the 1. Almost had them lined up, so that allowed Neo to trade him out. Simple, though, does come around with the op. They now know he's on Heaven, and that's a problem. They've got to look toward it. 2 players, 1 inside the site, 1 at the cross point as well, and Blade's the one at the cross. Simple goes through the smoke, makes no mistake, and winner of this round will have the only match point in this overtime to work with, and Blade's going to get Taz. It is going to be that match point for FlipSid.
Match point for FlipSid, and again, a pretty dire buy coming in for VP. I mean, you're looking at Bialy, Pasha sitting at 2k each. Taz, Snacks, and Neo, they're gonna get AK, so that's a good sign at least for them. But no nades to work with, and executes towards now on catch is so hard when you don't have any nades.
World Edit lobbing the first nade in. And this is round 60, so we've officially played 2 lengths of regulation. Most of it in MR4, MR3, excuse me. So a fast-paced game and a slow-paced game, a typical pace game. Remember, there's still map 2 after this. If Virtus.Pro win, map 2's inconsequential. If FlipSid win, then it matters, because they could still take over the upper bracket and force VP into the lower for playoffs. As things look to equalize now, but they're falling apart. Virtus.Pro managing to bring them back as Bialy and Pasha pick up 2, but it's still 3 men up and rifles to work with. They do recover 1 AK. That's on Bialy.
Though. Markelov has a really good chance of picking off Bialy here, and if he does that, round's over.
And that's exactly going to be the case. That was a desperation call. You had to figure, run B, get there. I'm here, it's open. And Bialy doesn't check his angles. Pasha's going to run in. He does at least take down Markelov in return. 37 HP, 1 on 2. And is it going to be all over here on round 60? Or do we get more? It's all over. 4 seconds was left. You didn't even have time to get there, so he couldn't turn back to take the fight. And FlipSid, 31-29. We'll take map 1. We still have Cobblestone left, by the way.
Kudos to FlipSid, though, because this was Virtus.Pro's map pick. So getting off to a pretty good start going into Cobblestone. Simple, nearly getting a 60 bomb, actually.
Yeah, it's insane. 58-45 his final scoreline. It's almost a killer round for 60 rounds. That's pretty awesome from him. And there's a lot of other players that were up there as well. Pasha had 53, and overall came up just a little bit short. But we'll take a break. I'm going to grab some water. I'm sure the teams want to get cigarettes and whatever else into them that keeps them sane in situations like that. And map 2, we'll be right back. It's going to be Cobblestone. Don't go anywhere. So I did just get an update from the admins due to the fact that VP do have another match right now. The second map will be played, but it's going to be delayed. They're going to take their other match first and come back to play the second map on Cobblestone to decide the rest of this series that you could almost call an epic at this point. Will be played at 23 CEST. So I'm in Canada. I'm not going to do math quickly, but that's a few hours from now. So you could go somewhere. I said don't go anywhere, but you can go somewhere and come back and join us then. And we will resume this matchup. Again, if FlipSide win this series, they take the upper bracket away. I'll just bring up the group stages so you can see what the situation lies now, as this is the very last game of the regular season. Team Solomid Envious, they go through to the upper on Group B. Mouse Sports Penta, they go to the lower bracket. Tiebreaker between Hellraisers and Titan finish dead last in that group. But Na'Vi can be passed by Virtus.Pro. They can still take the number 1 seed. Actually, they can't. I take that back. They cannot after losing that map. So they can only get to 9 points. Meanwhile, FlipSide, as you can see, if they pick up 3 for this win, they'll jump Virtus.Pro and force Kingwin and VP into the lower bracket. So it's still a little bit on the line right now. We will be back. 23 CEST, guys. We'll see you then.
Right from the start, we knew that this would never be now, baby. walls of fire.